Captain's Log, January 26, 2165. The Aurora has been fitted and completed her shakedown cruise. She is currently docked in orbit above Earth and will take on her final supplies and crew. I have been called to San Francisco to meet with Admiral Archer. I have left Commander Morox in command to oversee the final steps before we can begin our mission. I have never worked with the Nobulan before, but he seems like a capable officer. A few key personnel are still missing from my bridge crew. We are still without a communications officer. I have been extremely picky with my comms officer. We are sure to encounter tons of new species in our mission and I don't want any mistakes. One wrong letter in a word or pronunciation mistake could mean the difference between saying hello or insulting a person's mother. We are not out here to create more conflict. I have probably looked at and passed on about 20 applicants already. I hope to meet the final few applicants and pick one before we head out. We are also waiting for our tactical officer to report in. Although I will try my best not to get into conflict with other species, it will be great to have a veteran of the Romulan War heading up our tactical station. I am told that Commander Erickson is still trying to adjust the environmental systems in her quarters. From what I understand, Andoria is a cold planet. I can't wait to finally head out to the great expanse of space and put my ship through her paces. And love.
All right, so we're going to start off actually down on Earth in the office of Admiral Jonathan Archer. So, Captain, you've taken your shuttlecraft down and gone to Starfleet headquarters, and you were ushered right into Archer's office. Captain Vogel, come in, come in. He shakes your hand warmly.
Admiral?
Here, have a seat. And he gestures you to this pair of chairs over here.
And I will sit in one. Still kind of like half at attention, however.
Would you like some iced tea?
I am okay for now, Admiral. Thank you.
Well, from everything I've read, the Aurora has passed all of her trials and tests with flying colors, and she's ready to go. I don't mind telling you, I envy you.
Thank you, Admiral. She seems like a well put together ship, and I can't wait to get out.
I know exactly how you feel. Now, I called you here for a couple of reasons. First, I have your first mission for you. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to immediately take you off the exploration route. We've got some trouble out on Gamma Serpentis that I need the Aurora to look into. But I also wanted to give you a bit of unsolicited advice. Your record is exemplary, and your service in the Romulan War extraordinary. But I wanted to remind you to keep in mind that a lot of times out there, the book doesn't really apply, and sometimes the only way to get through a situation is to throw it right out the window, as it were. Don't let yourself be too locked down to rules and regulations out there. Sometimes they'll trip you up more than they'll move you forward. Believe me, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your ship, Captain. I just a little bit of advice from somebody who's been out there before.
Of course, Admiral, and I will take your advice to heart. However, I did find that sticking by the set of codes has saved my ass more times than I can count.
Fair enough. Just remember, there's a time and a place for all things. Now, one other thing. You're going to be going farther out than almost anyone ever has, and probably farther out than anyone ever has before you're done with things. Although part of your mission is to extend the subspace relay network, you are going to spend a lot of your time well beyond my oversight or Starfleet Command's oversight or even the oversight of the Federation. You and your crew on the Aurora will be quite literally making Federation and Starfleet policy out there. It's a lot of weight to be on a single person's shoulders, even more than usual for a starship captain. I select my officers for the exploration division very carefully, Captain. So I believe you can handle this pressure. But remember, when you're making new contact, when you're dealing with new situations and new civilizations, you are the Federation out there. Um, and unfortunately, there's no one but your crew to back you up.
Understand, Admiral, and thank you for putting your faith in me. I will not let you down.
I know you won't. Now, let me tell you about what's going on, or what we know about what's going on at Gamma Serpentis. And he walks over to what looks like a Vulcan holographic projector. Kind of shows the known stars in the alpha and beta quadrants. And he touches the controls and zooms into Gamma Serpentis. I do not have a map yet. I'm working on it, but it's laborious. Grab a pad. Okay. The Vulcan Science Academy survey ship Tnur traveled to Gamma Serpentis 4. It's marginally Minshara class, although a lot colder than humans are comfortable with, that showed extensive ruins from an ancient technologically advanced species. Snore was a small ship carrying a 12-person team of archaeologists, xenopologists, plus a crew of 8. Now, the early reports were positive. Honestly, the Vulcans actually sounded excited. I think they actually used terms such as highly intriguing, fascinating, and remarkable more than once, which for a Vulcan is pretty much doing the happy dance. Everything seemed to be going fine. They were reporting daily, going as slowly and methodically as you would expect a team of Vulcan scientists to do. They had uncovered a partially intact outpost station and were slowly making their way inside of it. But then 8 days ago, just the Tenor reported experiencing some minor issues with the ship's food synthesizers, nothing major. But then 3 days ago, we received a very garbled distress signal that broke off suddenly. And they've not been reporting in or answering any hails since. Due to current fleet dispositions, and he touches another control, and you see various blue markers for Starfleet ships, and none of them are anywhere really near Gamma Serpentis except for one in the Sol system. You are actually the closest to the system and the fastest ship we have available. You can get there faster than anyone else. So I want you to take the Aurora to Gamma Serpentis and investigate, find out what's happened to Tenor, if they need assistance, or in worst case, rescue. Provide all assistance that you can. I'm afraid I don't have anything more for you to go on. It'll be a good shakedown, if nothing else, for the ship. A little bit of a longer run than the tests have put her through. Oh, and I've also found you a comms officer.
Oh, that's good news, Admiral.
Well, I know you've been vetting candidates very carefully. However, for this particular mission, I think this candidate will at least temporarily come in very handy. And then you can kind of see whether or not it works out or not. It's Nomi Merrick, Dr. Nomi Merrick to be exact, linguist, archaeologist, brilliant in both fields. She signed up with Starfleet and did a tour shortly after the Romulan War, but somehow or another got assigned to a basic Sol system patrol ship and took a chance to take a sabbatical as soon as possible to work on a dig down in South America, in part of what used to be Peru in the jungles, Inca ruins, I think. Fascinating stuff. Unfortunately, she hasn't really been responding to messages. From what we know, the team has found some very interesting things down there. So I'm afraid you're going to have to go and get her, and maybe even convince her to come back in. And in the extremity, you can always activate the emergency reactivation clause. Technically, she's still in Starfleet, just on a long sabbatical, and honestly, she has at least another year to go. So you may have to do a little bit of convincing. But her linguistics combined with the archaeology, if you have to deal with alien artifacts in Gamma Serpentis, I think will come in very handy.
Yes, especially if we are dealing with the ruins of a potentially ancient civilization.
My thoughts exactly. And who knows? Maybe the fit will meet your standards. But in any event, Captain, and he holds out his hand. Good luck out there.
There is one question I have for you, Admiral.
Of course.
This outpost station, was it constructed by the Vulcans? Was it already there?
It was part of the alien civilization that they were discovering. From what I understand, most of the civilization has fallen into major ruins. The planet's climate is not terribly conducive to preserving things intact. Plus, there is some seismic activity in the area from the city that they chose to begin to investigate. It was some sort of outpost in a mountainous region a few miles away from a small city. The outpost itself was partially above ground and partially underground. As I understand it, is the underground portions of the facility that remained largely intact.
Very good. Thank you very much, Admiral. And I will extend my hand for a handshake.
All right. He shakes your hand. So, and you, of course, came down in your shuttle pod. Are you flying, or do you have a pilot?
Oh, I fly myself.
I figured. So I'm not going to make you do any rolls here. This is, you're basically in Earth traffic control, unless an engine explodes, which it doesn't. You're going to be fine. So you board the shuttlecraft, put yourself in the queue, and it's only about an hour's flight from San Francisco to this dig site that Archer gave you coordinates for in South America. Less than an hour, but it would be quicker, but you're having to deal with all the traffic control procedures of Earth. Plus, use special permissions to land in an indigenous preserve and archaeological scientific site area. The team who's been working there, though, has created a landing grid that is minimally invasive and minimally damaging. As you fly in, you notice this huge, very ancient pyramidal type structure, very similar to Incan pyramids that you've seen in books and toured. That incredibly dense stonework without any mortar, and you guide the shuttle in for a landing. But before we continue there, back on the ship, we will go to sickbay. All right. Dr. Harrison, you're in there making sure all the medical supplies are going where they should be, making sure you have everything you want. Lieutenant Saranka and Dr. Hellstrom are both there doing inventory and stocking all the supplies that are coming aboard the ship.
Okay.
All right. When
Gonna make sure that they aren't putting anything where I don't want it, and they do. I'm gonna make sure that I move it to where I want it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, things are going very smoothly. This is pretty standard stuff for Starfleet for a ship that's getting ready to go out on a long mission. The biggest problem you're finding is storage space, because they're talking about this being a 3-year exploratory mission, and you certainly don't want to find yourself out there, falling short of basic supplies if possible. So you've made sure to order plenty and more. So when you guys hearing that?
I could
Oh,
hear it.
yeah.
So there's incoming message from the wall communicator. Medical emergency in Cargo Bay 3. Send a med team immediately.
Knowledge, on my way.
All right.
I grab the nearest med kit and head down.
All right. So that will be. Actually, we'll do this in theater of the mind. I don't seem to have failed to have put the cargo bays on there. So you've got your med kit and tricorder, and you rush through, making holes for people to get out of your way. And
Yeah, just keep moving through, shouting, Chief Medical Officer moving. Chief Medical Officer moving towards medical emergency. Get out of the way.
so you burst into the cargo bay 4, and you see a team of engineering officers using emergency lifter pads on this large cargo crate that is on top of 2 other officers, one of whom is their entire leg is underneath and they are screaming. It's the female human officer, and the other one, the crate appears to have fallen across his torso. He appears to be unconscious. The engineers are just managing to activate the anti-grav skids and move the crate off of the 2 officers. One of them looks at you. Oh, doctor, thank God. The anti-grav lift went out. They were just positioned the wrong way when the crate came over.
I'm going to check on the screaming officer first.
Okay.
At least alleviate their pain so that they stop screaming.
Right. So give me a. You need to stabilize them both. They've both taken severe injuries. So give me a daring medicine difficulty 1 for first aid. Ooh. So the screaming person appears that her leg has been shattered from the thigh down. It's a serious injury, but from here you don't have the things you need to really splint it and cause the bones to start regenerating like you should. You can get it if you can get her to sick bay, you can do a better job. Give me another roll for daring medicine for the guy who was crushed underneath it more directly and is unconscious. Difficulty 1 again. Okay, him you're actually able to stabilize. He's not going to pass out or anything, but because of the complication on that roll, she starts to bleed out. Looks like her femoral artery's been ruptured. You're going to need to do a daring medicine difficulty 2, set your complication range to 2 to try and stanch the bleeding. Okay, unfortunately, you're just not fast enough. And the crewman dies. The other one, you've got stabilized, but he definitely needs to get back to sickbay for more serious treatments.
There's nothing I can do for her. Get this crewman back. Get this crewman to sick bay as quickly as possible.
All right. Roll me a single challenge die. Okay, so they very carefully use a side of a cargo box and slide him under it using, their Starfleet training to move him as little as possible. And, they make an improvised stretcher and follow you quickly back to the sick bay.
Get them on the bed. Medical team, help me out with this. I mean that they would have been rushing over as soon as we got them in the door.
Right. Sorry, I forgot to move you guys. You guys will have to bear with me on roll 20. So there you are in sick bay. You've got him on. They've got him on. What is your procedure now, Doctor?
Do everything we can to save them.
So, how are you going to start?
See where the most pressing injuries are.
So scan.
I only had the basic tricorder when I was in the cargo bay. I
Right.
need to get a further scan to make sure that
So
I'm
yeah,
not
you can
operating in the wrong
get him
area.
into the imaging chamber here, and take a more detailed scan if you wish. That'll be control medicine difficulty 2. But you are the chief medical officer, so you do have an advantage if you want to use it. You can use advantages to reduce the difficulty of things you're doing in sick bay. If you're doing an extended task, you can use it to decrease the resistance, that kind of thing. And of course, you can have your team assist.
I would have. I called them over.
Right.
Called at least one of them over to assist
Okay.
with it.
So if somebody wants to take Dr. Hellstrom and Lieutenant Saranka as the supporting characters, you guys can play this out.
The 2 roll.
Yeah, so if they're supporting the scanning roll, you would be the main roll and roll 2 dice, and the supporting characters, which would just be 1 in this case, would roll 1 die, control medicine, and you'll be assisted by the ship's computer's medicine if somebody wants to grab the ship. Everybody should have access to the supporting characters.
So it's what would it be? Science,
No, we
Ship,
were on
sorry.
medical.
medical, and what? Sorry,
It would be control medicine.
I meant for the ship. I've got a ship currently.
Oh, the ship. I'm sorry, computers medicine.
Computer's medical.
Right, but we'll need. All right. So there's a complication on the board, however you make the roll. So whoever's rolling the personnel assist, either Saranka or Hellstrom.
I can roll for Hellstrom.
Okay.
Okay, so it is
Control medicine, you're only rolling 1 die as an assist, though.
Control medicine, 1 die.
Okay, so there's 1 momentum gained. And
Does
then the ship.
emergency medicine proc for Saranka?
Oh yeah, Saranka has emergency medicine as well as one of his focuses.
Okay.
So
doesn't look like. What's his medicine?
his medicine's 3.
Okay, so he rolled a 6, so it's still a 1.
Okay.
And then the ship.
That looked like that was the ship.
Oh, was it? Oh, you're right.
That was a
So,
ship. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So be sure and activate the focus.
Okay, I'll do my best. This is the first time me actually using these sheets, so apologies.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Yep. She actually did roll a 6. Weird. So okay, that's 2 momentum gained for the group pool.
That was for Saranka. So.
Sorry?
The assist for.
Yeah. Okay. I'm only allowing one
Okay.
personnel assist for this particular roll for the scan.
Yeah.
Because the doctor is
Then we could-
basically one console, and then there's room for another person at a second one.
And we could probably use the momentum to squash the complication.
Sure.
Is that what you guys want to do?
It's up to the doctor, though.
Yeah, we'll let the doctor decide.
What are we deciding on?
So
Sorry.
you rolled a complication, which is the 0 in red, which means as the GM, I can make things more difficult. I can take it in threat, but you got 2 momentum total out of the roll, which is what it takes to make that complication go away.
Well, let's make the complication go away.
All right.
I don't want anything further to happen to this patient.
Gain
Yeah,
2
What is in the
speed.
scanner.
Right. So this is crewman Harks. He has a punctured lung as well as other internal injuries and requires immediate surgery. Basically, the crate pretty much fell right on his chest, and then but the weight of it punctured some lower organs, and a couple of ribs broke and went into his left lung. He's already been stabilized. To take him into surgery is going to be an extended task. Control medicine assisted by the ship's computer's medicine. It's going to start.
I would also use my focus for that.
Oh yeah. It's going to be start at difficulty 3, work 12, magnitude 3, and resistance 1. And I'll put that in the chat. Roll 20. And both Saranka and Hellstrom can assist on this.
Okay.
Will you
Do
need
we need to
the
do-
ship as well?
Yeah, the ship will be rolling computer's medicine again.
Cool.
I'll keep control of Hellstrom if someone else wants to take Saranka. Don't all rush.
Yeah, get used to
What would be rolls?
grabbing the supports, because there will be scenes where that's your opportunity to play.
This is a good instance to show that.
Yep.
Needing the full medical team to save a crewman who has a punctured lung after being crushed.
Well, it's also a punctured lung. This, we call it a ruptured spleen. He's got damaged kidneys. Yeah, I mean, a great big old crate fell on top of my dude.
He has been squashed. We need to put him back together.
His soft innards have been completely mangled.
That's right.
That's just why we have doctors.
Yep, doctor, you'll be the lead on this. You probably have a focus that will apply.
I do indeed, surgery.
All right, so be sure and check that box. Or put it on focus, yes, rather, is what I'm thinking.
Yes.
So your first difficulty is 3. So, and then of course you got the various.
That's complication range 3?
No, just your
2.
difficulty 3. Do you want to use the chief medical officer's advantage to lower that difficulty, or lower the resistance of the task, or give yourself another advantage?
I'll lower the difficulty.
Okay, so we're starting off at difficulty 2. So. And control medicine.
Control medicine and complication range 1 or
normal
higher?
Yeah.
So 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Excellent. So you're at 1 momentum. Now the assists. There's the starship. There's 2 momentum.
We have the technology. We can rebuild him.
Very nice. Now you're at 4 momentum. Just waiting on. There we go. Whoa. You guys are knocking it out of the park.
Where were these rolls when we were in the cargo bay?
So you are capped at 6. If somebody wants to draw momentum and keep track of that. There you go. 6 momentum. All right, so you've got the stary field activated around him, cut away his uniform. You've used your protoplasers to carefully open up the torso, exposing the damaged internals without, however, causing any further more damage. So roll. What is your medicine, Doctor?
Medicine is 4.
Okay, so roll 6 challenge dice. Be sure on your seat, you've got that little place to put in challenge dice. Be sure and hit enter before you press the roll button. Otherwise, roll 20 screws it up. Okay, I'm seeing 4 work being done with the resistance of 1. You do have a bunch of momentum on the board.
The momentum, get rid of that 0.
Well, what you can do, you can spend 1 momentum to re-roll any number of challenge dice. So you could re-roll that 0, or you could spend that momentum and get rid of 2 points of resistance, which would mean you've got 5 work, which is enough for a breakthrough.
I'm going to spend the 2 momentum for the additional work.
Okay, yeah, just 1 for 2. It can get you 2 points of resistance, but there's only 1 point. So okay, that's 5 work. That is a breakthrough. Do you have any talents or anything that affects that? That deals with extended tasks?
Let me make sure. I don't know if I can use it now.
What is it?
Healing hands. I don't think that will help me at this point in time.
Okay.
Because that just lowers the difficulty by 1.
Okay. Something to remember for the next deal, though. Yep, Soranka does have a point. You can spend momentum for extra work, which would get it to 6, which would be half the work track.
Let's do that.
Okay. All right, so this go around, you're starting without any modifications or anything at difficulty 2, magnitude 2, work 6, and resistance 1.
We should still apply this, correct?
Apply.
Or no? Okay.
Yeah,
So same roll?
Yeah, this is raw. This is without any of the modifiers applied. So you still got your chief medical officer's superpower, reducing the difficulty to 1. Does your healing hands reduce that further?
You can reduce it to a minimum of 1.
Okay, so it's down as far as you can get it. But yeah, okay, so at this point, it's the same set of rolls again. You roll 2, or the assisters and the ship each roll 1. Nicely done. So there's 1 momentum. 2 momentum, sorry. Here's a complication on the board. No whammies. Just need the ship. All right. So it's a total of 3 momentum gained, which leaves you with 1 floating. There is a complication on the board.
Could use the float and another momentum to get rid of the complication. Unless you guys want to make things more interesting.
We've lost one already. I
I
think
don't want to
interesting
play
has
with
already
someone's
gone past
with
the
one
point.
more person's life, so I'm going to get rid of the complication.
All right. So you are carefully removing the ribs and bone splinters from the lung. When as you pull one of the ribs out, you realize that it was actually is effectively blocking a small artery running through the lungs. And so when you picked it out, it started to bleed, but you very quickly got a magnetic clamp over it, which stopped the bleeding before it could do any further damage or complicate the surgery in any way. So you've managed to, you've basically gotten the ribs out of the lung. You're starting to repair some of the major tears and damage at this point. So roll your challenge dice, 6 dice. So right now where you're looking at 5 work, you can spend momentum for 6 to complete the work track. You can spend 1 to re-roll those 2.
Let's complete the work track.
Okay. You will need, I believe, to do 1 more to 1 above the work track to complete the task for good. That's TWI breakthroughs. Yeah, you're right. It is 2 breakthroughs. Never mind. So yeah, you managed to get the dermal regenerators working and the bone regenerators working. Looks like the spleen was not as badly damaged as you had originally thought. You're able to clean that out and stitch it back up. And as you close, you can take satisfaction in knowing that you've very quickly and competently saved this crewman's life, and he's ready to. I mean, he will need to recover for a few days, but he is out of danger and will be perfectly well.
Good work, Doctor.
First major set of rolls.
And you've still got. I think you're capped with momentum, are you not? Yeah.
Probably after all that.
Yep. So 6 momentum on the board, which may well come in handy as we go to the bridge.
Did I cap us like thrice during that?
Yeah, there was a
Twice.
lot of momentum.
Yeah.
So many complications.
We're getting them all out of the way now.
That's right.
Yes, let's get rid of them
Let's
now.
get them out of the way while we're in surgery instead of while we're facing some kind of enemy ship.
Right. So, meanwhile, as surgery is going on the bridge, Ensign Kanan puts her hand to the device in her ear. Commander, looks like there's been some sort of snarl with the supplies loading.
What kind of snarl?
Looks like there was an accident in Cargo Bay 4, and that's just kind of backed everything up. There's caused some confusion while the medical team got things out. Some things were put in the wrong place. It sounds like it's a real logistical nightmare down there, sir.
All right, I'm on it. Edson, you have the con.
Aye, sir.
All right, off to my left. Let's what the heck is going down on my ship? At least for now.
Right.
Attack of the Giant Ensigns.
I think I'm having
That's
some
a
audio
horrifying
trouble.
thought.
Either everybody's silent or I'm just not able to hear anyone.
Everybody was being very quiet.
Okay. It's not just my hearing's going.
All right. Sorry, I had my mic muted. So, yeah, swallowed the wrong way there. Had a little coughing fit. So you make your way down to the main transporter deck where all the non-biological cargo, or a big chunk of it, is being beamed aboard. And you make your way to where you see your token, and there's several boxes in the corridor. There's some, crewmen there. You hear the transporter humming. You go, wait, tell them to stop. We've got to sort this out. They can't just keep beaming stuff. We got no place to put it.
All right, what's going on here?
Oh, sir. After the accident in Cargo Bay 4, we tried to get Space Dock to stop stop shipping, but there's some sort of communications breakdown or something. They keep beaming stuff over. We can't get it sorted fast enough. And
All right, I'll get some more answers to move these boxes. Give
Right,
me
so
a
they start-
moment. All right, so we'll come up to the bridge to give me a direct line to the, what would it be, the transport hub that's sending all this stuff to us.
right. Okay. Return to the bridge. Yards online, sir. And on the view screen is a looks like a lieutenant in with red stripes. Earth dock control.
All right,
How
this is
can we
the
help,
Aurora. This is the Aurora. Stop sending cargo up here. We're having a appears to be an accident.
We've received no word to stop transshipment of cargo.
You're getting my word now.
Yes, sir. Let me patch you through to the cargo master. And patches you down. There's a Tellarite there. What?
It is the Aurora. He just stopped sending cargo up here. We've had an accident.
Listen, I got a schedule to keep here. I've got to get this cargo off and properly transship to your ship.
Does your
It's not my fault
schedule
if you guys can't handle it.
Does your schedule include digging this ship out of all the cargo you're sending up here?
Look, you guys are the one who asked for all the extra cargo, and I've got Admiralty breathing down my neck to get this stuff off the dock.
Well, have you tried living in deep space for 2 years eating nothing but uranium?
He kind of chuckles. I like it. It's crunchy. Yeah, I've got work to do.
We'll get it sorted as soon as we can. Just give us give us 30 minutes.
Give me a pull up my sheet. Give me a command presence difficulty 2, complication range 3, because you're not only having to convince this guy, but you're also having to basically reschedule on the fly cargo shipments and storage allocations, both on the Aurora and at the Star Dock.
3 task roll 2. Would composure perchance happen in this situation?
I beg your pardon?
Would composure help?
Yes, composure definitely would help because you are like multitasking furiously and trying to get everything.
All right. And what does everyone feel about me stealing some momentum and extra dice, just so we don't...
To stop people being swamped by boxes and having another accident? Sounds like a good idea.
Go for it.
I'll buy an extra dice in that case. That's
All right.
momentum, isn't it? I think. Or was it 1? I can't remember. It's been a while. All right, so 3 dice. Focus. Complication 3. Kaboom. And of course, why is it red?
All right, so there's a complication on the board. You did succeed. You still got the momentum if you want to buy that off, or I'll be happy to take a complication.
I think we better buy that off. We've had too much complications already.
Okay.
Let's have some fun.
I think we haven't even left space talk yet. I think we can.
You're just gambling with cargo. I was gambling with life. That's why I did it.
I was gonna say.
Someone's already died to a box.
So okay, you managed to. The Tellarite, apparently seemed to enjoy your threat with the deuterium. That seemed to really rank you high on his social insult category.
I try.
He works closely with you. You guys managed to sort things out and get the cargo and both transshipment and storage moving smoothly once again. Well done.
And I take it at some point I hear about the accident.
Yeah, instant comment once you've kind of have a moment. Commander, unfortunately, it looks like crewman Jackson was killed in the accident. Crewman Hanks had to undergo some pretty extensive surgery, but sickbay says he's going to be fine. But poor Jackson, she didn't make it out of the cargo bay.
Yeah. But how?
A crate of plasma injectors. It appears that the anti-gravity pallet sled failed suddenly. The box, just one side, and the box flipped over on crewman Hanks and Harks and Jackson. Jackson's leg was crushed, and apparently a major artery was cut. She bled out in seconds.
I want every grav sled inspected immediately. Can't afford an instance like this again.
Sir, that will slow loading.
The crew member has died.
Yes, sir.
I think we can afford a few lost hours.
Yes, sir. And she beep boop boop and gets all the various crews on it, and loading continues. We will now shift the scene down to South America. So, Captain, you have managed to land the shuttlecraft. No problem at all. No need to roll or anything. It's pretty easy to find that there's basically, they've put down plastiform walkways and like light scaffolding leading up into the pyramid itself, and down a level. You can hear people talking. You pass a couple of civilian people who kind of look at you oddly because it's not, you don't usually see Starfleet out here. And you keep heading deeper and deeper into the old temple until you reach a massive central room. You guess maybe couple 100 feet underground. A lot of it is still covered in what appears to be packed earth, but a large central area has been cleared, revealing a very intricate design carved in bas-relief into the ancient stonework. There are various scanners and pieces of equipment lying around, as well as work lights shining down. And there is an elaborate system of kind of a wire scaffold supporting in the center a young woman who is wearing a harness and moving about the lines as she carefully scans and records the image below.
Do I recognize the image?
On the floor?
Quite possibly with my history.
Sure. Give me let's call this reason science. I'll do an insight science difficulty 2.
I'll give you a threat, GM.
Ha ha!
Well, I don't.
I mean, it looks like Aztec, Inca, Olmec, it looks kind of, like that. But beyond that, I mean, you can't really tell what it is.
Do I recognize the person in the harness?
Yes, her face, what you can see of it as she's working, she's very concentrating. You don't think she's necessarily noticed you yet. It matches the photograph on her personnel file. This seems to be Naomi or Nomi. How do you pronounce that? Nomi Merrick.
Dr. Merrick. I will yell in the chasm. Dr. Merrick, I am Captain Vogel, the starship Aurora. May I have...
She seems to be very into whatever it is she's doing.
So I will find a way to get up to this scaffolding to get closer to Dr.
What you need is Star Trek 5 jet boots, I think.
Right, you did say scaffolding, right?
He's
Ah.
there at the moment.
Leaving us in
And,
suspense.
And I'm pretty sure that the jet boots would be a bit more advanced than the Star Trek 5s at this point.
Yeah, but it's the thought that counts.
Yes. As long as he doesn't bring out the marshmallow replicator, then we're fine.
God help us all.
The
All right,
marshmallow
back.
replicator will take over the world.
Scaffolding is just a kind of term of convenience. What this is a kind of a wire web with that runs down to the harness that Merrick is wearing that lets her move around above the floor of the place at a distance where she can kind of take in more and get a good film view of it, you would assume. So yes, you could climb on it, but it's not like scaffolding. It's, you think more along the lines of thin aircraft cable.
So it'd be like a tightrope.
Yeah. She's kind of doing a Mission Impossible.
Gotcha.
But yeah, each of these little tower things that is attached to has a built-in kind of ladder, so that the person using it can climb up, attach, unhook, and all that good stuff.
Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Each of the towers where the lines are attached do have like ladders built into them, so that they're obviously places where somebody can either climb up and attach themselves to the wires, or unhook and climb down. There are some what looks like harnesses laying.
Perfect. Yeah, I was just about to ask if I
there.
was just about to ask if I could see any, and I will put one on and head up the nearest.
Okay, so you managed to put on the harness. It's not, the fit's not terribly difficult, and clip yourself to the line. There appears to be kind of a built-in control pad that kind of straps to your left wrist or right wrist, depending on what your character's handedness is. That is somewhat similar to the control pad on an EVA suit. So just give me a reason con difficulty 1 to see if you figure out how to operate it without any problems.
Cool. Potential helm ups.
And not in this case. It's kindly different.
I'll just roll the straight up. Oh no.
Yep. So you activate it thinking that you're going to kind of, just kind of head out towards Nomi, but instead you zoom across the room. Zzz, give me a fitness security difficulty 1.
Take your threat.
Okie dokie. Okay, so you managed to put out your foot and hit the button really quickly so you don't smack into the pillar and do yourself any kind of bruising or anything. Nomi, you feel the kind of the web work vibrate pretty noticeably.
She removes like something out of her ear, turns around and looks like, "Who are you? Don't move. Stay there."
I'm sorry, Doctor. I could not get your attention, so I thought this was the best way to have a conversation.
And she'll glide herself, putting away her tools, and kind of glide across the lines.
And I'll climb on the tower if she's coming to where I am.
You guys are able to move your tokens, correct?
I am, yes.
Okay. There you go. Okay.
Dr. Merrick?
And you are?
I am Captain Vogel of the starship Aurora. Admiral Archer said I could find you here.
Well, you found me. What is this all about? I mean, I'm really busy here.
I require a comm officer for my ship for a mission, and I heard you're one of the.
I suppose so. I mean, it just depends on who you talk to.
Well, a recommendation from Admiral Archer is pretty much singing your praise.
I definitely appreciate it, especially coming from him, but I still have a year on my sabbatical before I can go back and do another tour.
I'm sure I could help speed that along if you wish.
Just give me a minute. I'm gonna get out of this harness. If you would step aside, please.
And I'll climb down so my feet are on the ground.
Yep, no rolls required for any of that.
She undoes the harness like a million times and just flops and slides down the ladder. So you're a captain on the USS Aurora? Is that what I'm hearing?
That is correct.
Well, if you want to brief me, go get some lunch. Starts heading out of the temple.
And I'll just kind of shrug my shoulders and follow the doctor.
All right.
So, Captain, is this a one-time mission offer, or what do you require of my skills for?
Well, as I said, we are in need of a comm officer, but I do have an immediate mission. A Vulcan science ship has gone missing near Gamma Serpentis. I've been ordered to investigate and try to locate this missing ship.
Well, it's not every day that a Vulcan science vessel goes missing, so. But what do you need in linguistics for that?
From what I understand of the planet, it is home to a set of ruins from a very advanced yet very ancient civilization. From the initial photos I've seen, they look rather similar to this. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never been to Gamma Serpentis before. Have you?
No. Though when I signed up for Starfleet, I was hoping a little bit more of exploration and not patrol duty for 4 years.
Well, consider this, Doctor. You could be among the first to set foot on that planet.
Did the Vulcan send over any pictographs or signs of what sort of language they use?
You know how secretive the Vulcans can be. But I'm sure I could request some information from Admiral Archer.
I just. I'm unsure, Captain. It's just leaving all this behind, it's a year's worth of work and on the verge of a new discovery that's going to change the way we think about the Incan Empire 1600 years ago.
I understand, and it is very important work. I mean, I've studied history myself, and any new findings we can find, especially about a mysterious race such as the Inca, would do humanity a great. However, you might be able to categorize and study the ruins of civilizations that are thousands of years old, maybe even tens of thousands of years old. Is that something you really want to pass up?
When does the ship leave?
We are scheduled to leave tomorrow once we get all of our supplies on board.
Can I think on it for just a few moments, Captain, if you don't mind? I have potentially some unfinished business down here before I would have to.
Of course, Doctor. I will head back to my ship in the meantime. But you should be able to get a hold of me. And just remember, this does not have to be a long-term thing either. You could just remain with us for one mission and come back to your work here. But I think after you see this place, I think you know where you want to be. Good day, Doctor. And I'll begin walking out of the cavern. But when I get to the edge of the cavern, be like, oh, I do have one thing to show you, and I'll pull out a pad and I'll hand it to Dr. Merrick. I don't know if you could see what I got sent. But yeah, GM, I'm gonna give Merrick the pad with those symbols on it. Yay?
I see it.
Okay, cool.
Interesting
Just-
form of communication here.
Yeah, Nomi, you can. This is a fragment. Obviously, you can't really learn too much from it. It's definitely it likely developed from some form of what's it called? Like hieroglyphic type or
Pictographic.
Pictographic. Thank you. I was completely blanking. From some early pictographic form, but that was definitely long ago in this language's development. But yeah, I mean, as far as without context, without a lot more of the language visible, this basically is just a little fragment of something. It could be a recipe for cookies. It could be, danger, high voltage. It could be please send socks.
So yes, I will hand that to you, and I will say, makes you curious, does as I head out the exit.
Hey, give me an insight science, Nomi.
What's the difficulty?
Just diff one.
Xenolinguistics for
Oh, yeah.
focus. It's diff one. I'll spend the momentum.
Okay, so you get the momentum back. So, and again, this is very preliminary. So let me send you. Just a sec. There you go.
Captain.
Oh, I already started walking out the
it's-
cavern as you're doing that.
Well, she was following to get lunch.
Okay.
How long does the Vulcans say this culture was, or how old they think it would have been?
I did not hear a exact year from my briefing with the admiral, but they do estimate that it is ancient. Did you find something?
Just judging how they, at least from the evolution of basic dialects to modern forms of that we have communications of today, this language could be thousands, if not tens of thousands of years old. It potentially could be the oldest known language that we, at least direct line of known languages that we've ever encountered.
Were you able to figure out what it said?
No, I would need some sort of reference point in order to really decipher the language.
Well, Doctor, we are heading to a place where you could get more of this language.
It'll take me some time to get my things together. If you need back on your ship, I could just call for a shuttle from.
I will have one standing by for you, Doctor.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Not to mention all the
All right.
paperwork I have to fill out.
All right. So do you head back up to the ship, Captain?
Sure am.
All right. So you make it back up to the ship. Nomi, I'm figuring that in relatively short time you'll be following.
Yeah, she wanted me going up to the actual ship with him, so.
Okay. Do either of you want to do anything before we kind of move on to the next scene? Does anybody want to do anything before we move on to the next scene?
I mean, there might be hell to pay when I get back up there and I get the report, but
Well, we can play that if you want. It's up to
Did
you.
I know when the captain was coming back?
Hmm?
I know when the captain was scheduled to come back to the ship.
You Harrison, Doctor. So, I mean, you knew the captain had been called down to Starfleet headquarters. You're scheduled to leave tomorrow, so, but not anything more specific than that.
Well, then I will be heading up to the bridge to give a medical report to the commander since he was in charge of the ship.
Okay. So, we'll have Vogel arrive just about this time, right behind the doctor. This token is here.
Okay, so at this point I would have been halfway through the report, or is it like right after I arrived? Just so I frame of reference for my roleplay.
Yeah, everything been kind of happening semi-simultaneously. So yeah, you're about halfway through your report to the commander when Captain Vogel arrives on the
Actually, I
bridge.
probably would have done it around the back, away from everyone else.
Okay.
I mean, there's no
position
point
yourselves
distressing.
wherever you want to be.
No point distressing them all about this.
Yeah. So wherever you guys want to be, feel free to move your tokens around the map.
Then I can move my token.
You can or you can't. I can't.
You can't move yours? Okay, let me. Should be able to. It says can be edited and controlled by. Let me see if I've got you on the right layer.
Damn you, roll 20 permissions.
Should both be on the token layer. Oh, Harrison should be able to be controlled by Harrison. So you guys aren't able to move your tokens?
I am.
Okay. What about you, Doctor?
I am not able to.
I can move mine.
Do you have the select move selected?
Not able to pick him up. I'm only it gives that all box kind of thing when you hold the mouse and drag it. I'm not able to actually move him.
Weird. As far as I can tell, the settings are. Can be edited and controlled by Lieutenant Commander James Harrison. That is you. Save. Let me remove this token and see if you can't drag a token on from your character in the journal.
How would I do that?
You just drag your character sheet. And
Yeah,
it will spawn a
you
token.
left click and hold, and it'll drag it. And when you let it go on the map, the token should automatically appear. There you are. Now, can you? There you go. I have no idea what that was. Everything seemed to be set right up. Solved.
Great mysteries of the universe.
Great Mistress of Roll 20, which are about the same thing.
Right. I was about to say, if that's the worst problem we have with Roll 20 today, we'll be good.
It's the worst problem we've had. All right, halfway through the report, so managed to get him back to sickbay in time, and a further scan indicated that several internal organs were damaged when the crate fell on them. Luckily, my staff and I were able to perform surgery and save his life. He is currently resting in sickbay, and I'm ordering that he remains there for at least the next few days.
Understood. You sure there was nothing that could be done for Jackson?
I did everything I could. She bled out before I could even get her back to sickbay.
I understand. I've recorded all the grav plates for inspection.
You have a report, Commander?
Captain! Standing up, giving the martial salute.
Sir.
As you were.
As I was telling the commander, we had an accident in the cargo bay. Crewman Jackson bled out shortly after the incident when I arrived. There was nothing I could do for her. Crewman Hanks was stabilized and moved to sickbay. Upon further scan of him, we had realized that several of his organs were punctured, and we immediately operated, saving his life. He is currently in sickbay, and I recommend that he remain there for the next few days.
So,
It appears the accident was caused by a malfunctioning grav plate. I've ordered the remaining ones to be inspected, to make sure it doesn't happen again.
very good. And please, let's have engineering review the procedures for moving cargo. Can't even leave Earth without losing a crew member.
Yes, naturally we will need to arrange to have the Ensign return to Earth.
Let's wait a few days for that, Commander.
A few days we leave tomorrow.
With respect,
Exactly,
we can't
correct.
take the body with us. We haven't moved her farther than the morgue at this point.
We will keep her on the ship until after our first. Is that the letter you want to send her parents, Doctor? Crushed by a cargo container.
No, sir.
Captain,
I'd rather have an explanation as to what caused her death than just say that she was crushed.
Captain, her family is down there. There's little point in keeping her on board the ship at this time.
I will deal with the family, Commander. In the meantime, how is our resupply go?
The resupply will be back on schedule soon. We have to clear up the mess.
Are we still on schedule for departure tomorrow?
Plus or minus an hour, but we'll be there.
Very good. Has our tactical officer reported in yet?
I don't believe so.
Very good. Inform me when she comes aboard. In the meantime, Commander, let's get status updates from all department heads. Make sure the ship is ready to depart.
Of course, I'll get right away.
Now, if you excuse me, I think I have a letter to write.
All right, and last but certainly not least, let's check in with our chief engineer, who is way down here in environmental controls, trying to get the ship systems to put the security officers, the tactical officer quarters into a comfortable zone for Andorian personnel. So, okay. The ship was not really designed for non-human species, so you're really having to do some tweaks on the environmental systems.
I understand.
So, you and...
I think it's... Who is it? Agrapos?
Agrapos, yeah.
I'm terrible with names like that. So, I'm here with Agrapos doing... try it again. Just this time a little bit higher. We don't want them... I know they're from a cold world, but we don't want them freezing to death. That would be really ironic.
All right, she beep boop boops a few
Okay.
numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, the tactical officer's quarters are cooling nicely, but so are the other quarters around her.
Ah, damn it. Stop before we have an outcry on our hands. Okay. Why are they now all getting cold as well? I see. Carry on.
Looks like we've got to... the system's... the original design's just not granular enough. Without going in and doing some serious reprogramming, we're not going to be able to get it to narrow its focus so much. The reverse backup Nadion reciprocating unit.
Jesus. Sorry, carry on.
It's a handy tool. The reverse backup Nadion reciprocating unit needs to be recalibrated if we're going to get that kind of fine temperature control just focused on one compartment rather than the entire section.
I mean, that is incredibly fiddly work. I mean, are we sure we can't just... No. It makes sense. Makes sense. I'm going to have to schedule more time to get this repaired. This is so...
Yeah, this is going to be basically a quick extended task, difficulty starting at difficulty 3, magnitude 2, work 15, resistance 2. It can be assisted by the ship's computers engineering. It's going to be control engineering, and you can also have a Grapos assist if somebody wants to grab her.
Ship's computer engineering, I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to ask for a little bit of help with my sheet because I'm not sure exactly how to settle.
You going to do what now, sorry?
I don't have any idea how I'm going to set all of that. Because again, I've not used these sheets before. I know how to do very basic stuff, but what do I need to click?
It's all right. Under attributes, click control.
Gotcha.
Under disciplines, engineering.
Okay.
Do you have any focuses under the dice roll? Under focuses, do you have any that might apply here?
I've got things like electroplasma power systems. I'm not sure if that would be specific. And maybe reverse engineering and diagnostics. I'm not sure if any of those make sense for this system specifically because it's more basically temperature control. So,
yeah, it doesn't sound. Read me off all of them. Let's just see what you got.
So I've got diagnostics, electroplasma power systems, warp core mechanics, reverse engineering. I've got negotiation of the Uniform Codes of Justice. I don't think either of those are going to help out here.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like you have a focus. So make sure you click no under focus used.
Gotcha.
Complication range is normal. It should be 1. If it's not. The task roll, your normal is going to be 2 dice unless you want to buy more dice.
And I'd use momentum to do that, obviously.
Yeah, you use momentum or threat to do that now, and then let me see what your talents look like. Resolute. Yeah, so if you give me a threat, you can activate for a third die. You could activate your bold engineering, which lets you roll a die, a single d20. I'd let you use. You actually know the source of the problems. You're actually fixing it.
Yeah.
Technical expertise will kick in, so you'll be able to re-roll 1d20, which can be the ships. So
sure.
it depends on if you. if you want to use the bold or not.
For this, I don't think I'll use bold right now. As I said,
Okay.
this is not me being bold and exploring. I am trying to fix a niggly little problem with a very small bit of the ship to make it work. So
Sure thing. So
It is a difficulty 3 task, so you might want to spend some resources.
but again, you do have a support assist and a ship assist, and you can re-roll one of yours or one of the ships with technical expertise.
Yeah, rather than having to spend a threat to bring up with that, I think I'll save that for now, and then I'll use my technical expertise if needed. Okay, that makes sense.
Right. So now you should just press the symbol beside the.
Beside the task roll, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Go ship.
Yeah, no doubt. Someone have a Grappos?
The captain has not been rolling good, so I don't think you want me doing it.
Does anybody else fancy it?
Which one is it? Grappos,
isn't it? Yeah, in engineering.
Yeah.
I can't access that.
Oh.
I can't do it, Captain.
Oh yeah.
I'll get it. I'm there. Oh wait. Yeah, you gave it to nobody.
Everything but bio is blank.
Let me fix that. Okay, she should be available to everybody now. Sorry about that.
All right. What's it again? Engineering.
Control engineering. You're just rolling 1 die.
1 dice. Kapoom.
All right, so that looks like a total of 2 momentum gain.
Yeah.
All right, and Erickson, if you'll roll, let's see, your engineering's 5, so you 7 challenge dice. This is where the sheet gets fiddly. Beside challenge dice, you can type in the number you want to roll.
Gotcha.
But then before you hit the Starfleet symbol, either click outside of that number box or hit enter, or
Gotcha.
it will not roll right for reasons.
I'll try. I've done that now, so I will.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. Okay.
So with the resistance of 2, you're looking at 3 work. You do have momentum on the board.
I think we've gained 2 through this task, and we had 3. So that means we have 3 in total. So, can we spend that to increase the work or reduce the resistance?
You could spend 1 to re-roll those 2 zeros. You could spend 1 just 1 for 1 to add work, or you could get rid of the resistance with 1 and do 5, which would be a breakthrough.
Can I? So how many do I just spend 2 to get rid of it, or spend 1? Sorry.
You eliminate 2 points of resistance for every 1 momentum.
Can we do that? I'm asking my colleagues for examples because, like I say, this is my first
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. The less resources we have to spend to get the most out of it is how we want to play it. So 1 momentum to remove the resistance is the best.
Okay, I'd ask that we do that then.
Okay. So that's 1 breakthrough, which brings it down to difficulty 2. Just 1 magnitude left and work 10. Resistance is still 2.
Okay. So, rolling again. There we go.
Nice.
Go ship.
No doubt.
So this ship is really pulling its way currently.
Commander is hired to roll for the ship all the time.
2 momentum.
I'm busy on split screen here trying to manage all these character sheets. It's not easy.
Right.
No one
Now
said Starfleet service was going to be easy.
Now for the crewman, or whatever their rank is.
I believe she's an ensign.
Now for the ensign. Oh, sorry, ensign.
Still got 2 momentum out of it.
We did. Yep. So now I roll the challenge again.
Yep, 7 challenge dice.
Ooh, that wasn't as good.
Well,
so
it's 5, so we do the same thing.
Oh, it is 5. Okay, cool.
So, okay, easy enough. Once you got in there and were able to recalibrate the reverse backup Nadion reciprocating unit, now the temperature in the Andorians' quarters is falling nicely. Now, just because of the ship's design, you're not going to be able to get it below. You can. She can now set it somewhere between the lowest she'll be able to get is 10 below, which is a very warm day, and along the equatorial region of Andoria in the summer. So, but it will at least be considerably more home-like and comfortable for her than than the environmental settings had been before, because the human norm is pretty hot for Andorians.
Well, that's the best we're going to get, unless she wants to crack a window.
Right. So, okay. Well done, everyone. Got a little bit of momentum to start with. Anyone have anything else they want to do before we speed up time a little bit? All right. So, final loading is complete. Your Andorian tactical officer has come aboard. The player obviously isn't here, so she will be settling in and undergoing standard physical and stuff. She's not available for this mission, but we'll work out how to bring her in next time.
Cool.
So yes, release the body to the family. Okay.
Always listen to your second in command.
I'm sorry, what?
You have to play to your character, and he forgot what his character would do.
Yeah. Well, because I was gonna lie and say that they died in doing the mission.
Right.
But then I realized I chose honest to a court, so that would not work.
That's right.
Immediately acting against character.
Immediately.
All right. So we're going to fast forward to the next morning when the ship is getting ready to head out. Doctor, Chief Engineer, do you want to be on the bridge or somewhere else when the ship is first moving out?
If I'm not needed in sickbay, I'll probably be on the bridge, just observing.
Okay.
I'll be with my warp engine, because somebody got most of my crews looking at grab sleds instead of working on the warp reactor. So
Right.
I've had to spend
We
all
needed
night
it.
working on this.
We lost a crew into faulty equipment.
So, Doctor, you can put yourself wherever you want to be. The engineering station is currently empty, or you can just kind of hang out on the bridge.
Probably be standing to the left of the captain, behind him.
Hopefully, you can still move your token, so just put it wherever you want to be.
We're still on the engineering deck for me.
Yeah, we're still in
I'm
the
sorry.
engineering.
I'm very sorry. I forget that it doesn't. This will be my first actual campaign running Roll20, and this is all of my second actual game running Roll20. So
It's fine.
I will be
There.
on a learning curve.
It takes a
We
while.
will let you.
It's left.
So, all right. So it is the next morning. It's time to start moving out of space dock. I'll let you guys roleplay that.
Excellent. All stations report ready.
Yes, lights are green. Ready to go.
Excellent. Khan, take us out nice and slow.
Aye, Captain. Firing thrusters. And the ship begins to slowly move out of the dry dock style space dock that you've been in until this point. Ensign Daly says, "We are clear of the dock, Captain."
Excellent. Once we have clearance to go to warp, please set a course to Gamma Serpentis. Hopefully I said that right.
Yep. No, I mean, I'm assuming you're on the ship.
I would
Did I
hope
come
so.
off to come aboard?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't. You didn't speak up, so I didn't figure you had any role play you wanted to do. So, and I just sent you something.
Captain, I'm getting word from Starfleet Command that says we're free and clear to navigate. And they wish us best of luck.
Everything's
Excellent.
looking good down
Thank
here,
you,
Captain.
Lieutenant.
You get commed up from the engineering.
Thank you, Commander. Khan, is the course set?
Course for Gamma Serpentis 4 laid in, Captain.
Let's do it. As fast as she'll go.
Warp 6.8. Aye, sir. The ship slides smoothly into work at its maximum cruising speed. Holding steady at warp 6.8, sir. ETA at this speed, 27.9 days.
Really?
Christ.
Welcome to
Welcome
the
to Warp
Enterprise era
6.8. Yeah, I was going to say.
in the old style warp thing.
Would it
Universe
be
is a lot
faster if I
bigger
got
these
out of
days.
book? Would it be faster if I got out of book?
I thought Gamma Serpentis would be a lot closer than that.
It's 24 light years away.
Yikes.
At warp 6, it will take us a while.
I am
Yeah,
learning that.
We're already thrashing the engines at maximum warp. I'm going to be very busy.
Oh,
I'm gonna-
max warp is
I'm-
7.
So I'm going to hit the comm button to engineering.
Yeah, max warp.
Engineering break.
Engineering here, Captain. What do you need?
How are the engines holding up?
I assume there's nothing wrong as I direct my my opinion to the GM.
Well within parameters.
Everything's well within parameters, Captain. Seen sweetly.
Just keep an eye on it. I'm going to push the engines a bit. Got to learn what my ship can.
I'll let you know if there's any problems, Captain, but looks like we did well with it.
Keep me informed. Bridge out.
Understood. Out.
Khan, take us to maximum speed.
Aye, sir.
And I'm going to get up and go get a cup of tea. And I'm going to sit back in the chair.
All right. Warp 6.9. Warp 7. And there is a very, very slight vibration for a few seconds, and then until the ship settles back down again.
Go ahead and push the limits on this. I don't have her rank. What's her rank offhand?
Ensign Daily.
Go ahead and push the limits of our engines, Ensign.
Can you not see the name tags?
I just
fine.
didn't have it up.
Oh, that's fine. Aye, sir. She just.
But no, I cannot see the name tags on
Okay, cool.
the tokens.
You have to make them visible for us.
Oh, damn it. Warp 7.02. Warp 7.03. Should be visible to everybody. Warp 7.05. And a little bit of a vibration is back.
How's it looking down in engineering? We were exceeding the effective max tolerance of the engine now. Is it all still good, or am I running around like a headless chicken?
No, everything's. I mean, the engine's definitely working hard, but for now everything's good. Although you're definitely creeping into the orange, as it were.
Okay.
Back on the bridge. Warp 7.06. Warp 7.08, and the vibration is most definitely increasing.
And I'll just take a sip of my tea as it vibrates.
Okay.
If you're going to keep pushing the ship this hard, I'm going to return to sickbay and prepare for any incidents
Plasma
that might
burn.
occur from this.
Prepare for warp plasma burns stuff.
He
Warp 7.1,
please.
sir.
Still just sipping my tea.
At this point, I've returned to sickbay and have prepped my team in the event that any explosions happen in the ship.
Daly
From
kind of
this-
just kind of slightly looks back over her shoulder and then swallows.
Engineering to the bridge.
Go ahead, engineering.
So we've got plasma injectors into the red now. I wouldn't recommend maintaining this speed for too long. Otherwise, we're going to have to stop and go back. And I think that's probably pretty enough.
I gotta see what she can do, engineering.
Warp 7.12.
Well, I'd rather not. I can understand I wanted to put her for a place as captain, but I'd rather not want to see what she can do when she overheats.
And I'll just sip my tea.
We're going to die.
All right. I didn't load those sounds. All right, so warp 7.15. Down in engineering, a panel blows in a shower of sparks as the ship's vibration increases. Give me
Watch those
a
injectors.
control engineering difficulty 2.
Control engineering difficulty 2. Okay, I didn't succeed at that one.
It will be assisted, I'm sorry, by the ship's. Let's do this. The ship's engines engineering.
I'll grab the ship.
Already
Cool.
did it. Already got it.
Oh yeah.
All right. So yeah, you managed to get things stabilized. The engines
Steady.
are down a little bit from their red line points. On the bridge, Daly kind of sits up a little bit straighter and says, and then touches the throttle controls. Warp 7.16.
Okay, at which point do I like? Is it now just holding steady at incredibly dangerous, or is it going to start climbing into like the red again?
Right now, it's just holding steady over the.
Yeah. This is talk about stress test.
Exactly. Right.
You know, if I knew it was going to be this rough, I would have traveled as roller coasters back on Earth.
Give me just a second, everyone.
At least those have safety belts.
Everyone, please keep your hands inside of the car at all times.
You just keep your arms inside of the
Seatbelts
traveling
wouldn't help
station.
you in this situation.
That's right.
I mean, what's Starfleet's warp record at this stage? Are we exceeding that yet, or are
Warp
we just
7.18. Meanwhile, in engineering,
Meanwhile, everything's on fire.
Everything's on fire. The medical teams are scrambling to get people back on their feet.
oh, on the bridge is the only place it counts. I see how it is.
If the fire isn't happening in your part of the ship, then is the fire really happening?
You got that.
Engineer to bridge, we've got cascading failures in the EPS system. We're going to have to throttle back, otherwise we're going to lose something vital. Captain, I'm begging you here. We need to slow down.
Understood. Helm, what's our speed?
Warp 7.18, sir. I don't know that anything's ever gone this fast. At least
I'll let it go a little bit longer, and I'll kind of look around at.
okay. So like at this point, you're doing the whole. You're not everybody's been thrashing back and forth, but everybody's kind of jiggling in their seats a little bit from the vibrations. Captain, we're hitting warp 7.2. Engineering, give me a control engineering difficulty 3 to stabilize the microscopic ionic phase grid.
Use some resources for this one.
But since
Oh, sorry, I wasn't pushing to talk. Sorry. I'm just having a look at my focuses specifically. Is there anything that I can, if I want to use a focus, say like my plasma power systems focus? Would that
yes,
come
that
into
would
play here,
that
do you
would
think?
definitely apply. I am, however, spending some threat to raise the difficulty to 3 and the complication range to 2.
Okay, and looking at my, so I can use momentum to get an extra dice roll. Is that right?
Yes. Remember though that you
If
have
I-
bold engineering, which lets
Oh,
you re-roll.
Sorry.
So you could spend 1 threat and 2 momentum to roll 2 extra dice, and you get a reroll.
But you're gonna have to repeat that. Sorry, my internet went very robotic there for a second.
Okay. So since you have bold engineering, you could spend 1 threat to get a reroll, and then you could spend the 2 momentum to roll 4 dice.
Okay, I'll do that then. If that's all right. So I will add 1 threat and spend 2 momentum to roll 4 dice. Okay. Let's give it a roll then. There we are.
Crushed it. There's a ship roll, GM.
Sorry, muted. Engine engineering.
XO, do you want to roll the? Yep.
Yep, the mouse is not responding.
Because you seem to always.
Yeah, the mouse
okay.
is not responding.
Looks like 2 momentum gained all told. Yeah, and the Erickson, you managed to adjust the variable.
The microscopic ionic phase grid.
Yeah, the macroscopic ionic phase grid. You've managed to tweak it enough where it's allowing more a less resistance to the plasma flow through the main EPS grid. So the ship is actually stabilized at this point. The vibration in total goes down just a bit to where it's not jiggling everybody around. It's actually running fairly smoothly.
Whilst I'm in engineering, frantically swapping systems and making sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got the engineering crews are replacing panels
Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff is going on.
People with hydro spanners pulling things out and just basically making sure that nothing burns out yet.
Yeah.
The while Harrison was just calmly getting his team ready in
Right.
case anybody got hurt.
Yeah. You've got a couple of people coming in with you got a sprained wrist, a minor abrasion. Somebody broke a finger catching themselves on a hatchway with a sudden
Those
lurch.
are
But
all
nothing.
minor things, and we
Yeah.
take care of them relatively quickly and get them back out there.
Yeah, nothing that you even really need to roll for.
Engineering to bridge. We've stabilized everything, but unless you push it any further, we can probably hold this for about 45 minutes max, and then we're going to lose something in.
Very good, thank you. And I'll just nod to the con office.
Aye, sir.
I already told you what I'm looking for, Jim. So
I know. So
Brooks to engineering. Just how bad is it down there?
Sorry, who's calling?
That's
out of character.
Sorry. Morox. Yeah, me. Morox, the XO.
Sorry, I'm doing all sorts of stuff. So
It's
I
alright.
missed what you were saying. Okay, so you said.
Yeah, I'm asking you just how fucked it is down there.
We've lost a few plasma relays, and we're really sort of straining the microscopic ionic phase grids, but everything else is holding. We've not had anyone badly injured. We've had a few panels we're going to have to replace. We'd definitely lost a warranty on this.
Thank you, Chief. Captain, I think we've put our threat paces just enough.
Daly starts inching it forward.
I have to see what she can do, Commander.
What she's gonna do is have a heart attack, Captain.
Captain, roll me 1 challenge die. Okay. So a shower of sparks shoots out from the engineering console here. No one is injured, but yeah, the console is on fire. Ensign Ellison at Tactical quickly grabs a fire extinguisher, puts it out.
If I'd been standing there, I would be on fire.
I'll quickly check the speed.
You're holding at 7.2. When she started trying to nudge it up above that was when the console blew.
So probably just at like 7.2001.
Yeah, something like that. Just a hair over 7.2.
And I'll stand up and say, bingo! Warp 5.
What was that last you cut out there?
I'll say bingo and then warp 5.
Daly quickly. The ship slows down in engineering. Everything goes well back in green.
Thank God.
Warp 5.
Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
Commander, let's get a status report from all departments. I think that was a successful test of the engines. Congratulations, everybody. Warp 7 point.
That's what tested my constitution. All departments report in.
This is Harrison in medical. We've had minor injuries. I would not suggest doing that again. I don't see the crew holding up very well under those conditions.
Only in emergencies, Doctor. Only in emergencies. Thank you.
Would hope that we would never have those cases very often.
Only in emergencies and speed record breaking, Captain.
This is engineering report again. We're doing all right. We've lost a few relays, but nothing serious, nothing that can't be replaced. It's very hot down here. If anyone was fancying increasing their body temperature a couple of degrees, but otherwise we're doing well.
Very good. Good work down there, engineering.
Aye, sir.
Captain, all decks reporting in. Only minor injuries across all decks, but no damage to the ship.
Excellent. That's good news.
So,
Never know when we might need that speed to get away from something out here. Rather know what she can do than have to test it in the thick of.
All right.
Commander informed me of the progress of the repairs, and I want a senior staff meeting in 2. I'll walk to the ready room, which I'm assuming is here.
Yep, that's your ready room. Where do you want the staff meeting? In the ops? Okay.
Well, what these guys gonna just for a second muse. Well, only 10 years ago, species without 5.2. Time does fly, doesn't it?
Point afterwards, you would just see Harrison come wandering back onto the bridge.
Daly says, the last report from the Atlantis before she was destroyed, she managed to get to 5.2. Enterprise did it maybe twice.
I can tell you that the Endeavor never got anywhere near 5.2. We stayed mostly about 4.8. Hear him say that from your left.
Well, at least we held together. That's the thing that counts, right?
I feel if we had gone any farther, we would have had some major injuries from engineering.
Indeed. Let's not do that again, unless we have to.
If the captain does any more of these kinds of tests, I'm going to have to give him an evaluation.
All right. Anything anybody would like to do between this point and the 2 hours when the captain has called a senior crew briefing?
I'm repairing the warping that I just fixed.
Yeah. Don't even need to roll. You're able to make the repairs. You're not really.
Yeah, it's not. It's not massive, I imagine, but it's mostly just going. Well, all these relays have exploded again.
Right. You're just switching out relays and whatnot much earlier than you had. Anticipated having to do that.
These things have like lifespans of years. We've lasted less.
About 3 minutes.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing until the senior officers.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to do?
Harrison would spend like half the time on the bridge just looking out the main viewport, and then would probably wander down to the mess hall and grab a bite to eat before the meeting. So that's all he would do if he wasn't needed in sickbay.
All right.
He trusts his staff enough to leave them alone.
Yeah, they're a fairly competent group.
Definitely proved themselves already.
major surgery and a bunch of injuries on the first day.
Yeah. the medical team, and the engineering team are definitely qualified for their positions.
We've been tested today and not found wanting.
You got tested by our captain. I got tested by an accident.
Indeed.
All right, so we'll just kind of fast forward to the meeting. This will no, it's not quite the next scene, but so you guys can position yourselves for whatever meeting. I've got a token for Erickson. So you guys, can you guys see your own nameplates?
We can. There's an option if you double click on the token. Then there's two sets of options. If you go into the advanced options, which is the second option, there's a you can tick to display for everybody.
Like I could see the name tags for the most of the players.
Okay.
Except for the doctor, but I cannot see it for the NPC crew.
Okay, so player.
I can only see my own.
Okay, see if the helms person's appears.
It did for me.
Got
okay,
it.
Cool. That's what I need to do then. Thank you.
That's fine.
Yep, can see the names for everybody now.
Nice.
If we could just add a rank for Lieutenant Merrick or Doctor, whichever Prax would like to go.
There we go.
Because I like calling everyone by ranks.
Commander Erickson arrives with what looks like a large piece of kit, or something that looks like a part for the ship, which seems to be blackened and burned in his hands.
All right, whenever you guys are ready, go take it away.
Before the meeting starts, Commander Erickson walks up to the captain and hands him this burnt part, going, "As a gift to you, sir, quickest ever burnt out plasma injector, probably on record."
That's definitely something to hang up on the wall. Thank you, Commander.
Of course, sir. He turns around and goes back to his place. He's covered in, like, I don't think they have engine grease in the 22nd century, but he's like covered in something. He just definitely doesn't.
You're a little bit rumpled. There's a slight singe mark on your right cuff where you were putting out you got a little bit too close to an electrical fire.
Many fires. Yeah, one of many fires.
Yeah, let's make sure we don't have spares to bring back with us. Of those.
Oh, we've got less than we had.
Yeah, and just as a note, because of the nature of your exploratory mission, you are pretty much loaded to the gills with supplies of various points, unless it's something really esoteric. Most of the time, you're not going to have too much trouble finding, your basic kind of things. Because at this point, without the system of star bases and whatnot, it's one of the reasons you're limited to like a 3-year mission, because you really just have to think of like when a submarine first went out and was just packed in every little square corner in World War II with fruit and oranges and whatever else. And in the case of the ship, a lot of it is hull plating and stuff, materials for the machine shops and all that good stuff. So you've got a lot of supplies. Anybody?
Oh, sorry for interrupting.
Okay. On. If anybody's interested, on the handout section in your journal, there little card with your standing mission directives. which is pretty much what you would expect. So, but you can reference that, particularly if you're needing to call on a mission objective for a termination spend or something.
I will say that we do have spare plasma injectors. They killed a man today. Or a woman, I should say.
So was it in the box that
Yeah,
like
that's...
crushed that Grumman?
Yes. Yes.
Ah.
I'm just helping to lighten the load so it doesn't happen again.
Well, we certainly tested for failure. Anyway, sorry. Moving
We're
on.
down a few conduits and a crewman, so
100%
the load has been
successful maiden voyage.
marginally lightened. We lost a crewman before he even left Earth's orbit, sir.
Well,
Right, so I'll look around the room. Is this everybody? Feel like I'm missing somebody.
I think we're missing a comms officer.
And I'll yell, Lieutenant! Thank you for joining us, Lieutenant. First things first, how are the status of the repairs coming, Lieutenant Commander?
They're going well, sir. Nothing too critical was destroyed or lost, but we will be replacing panels, and the engineering room will smell like smoke for a couple of days. But yeah, I don't think we've done any lasting damage to the ship.
Very good. Doctor, how is your sick bay supply?
We are still well stocked, sir. We've only had minor injuries apart from the accident before we left.
So we've determined what the cause of the malfunction in the grav plating was.
Just a sec.
And so that would be my engineers, so I probably know that, if anybody. It was raccoons. They were nibbling at the wires.
It was space raccoons. No, it was tribbles. We had tribbles in the ducts.
I was about to say triples, yeah.
Not again.
Lieutenant Commander, we're going to have to get our guns out there and go tribble hunting.
Bunch of people with long rifles going down into the engineering section.
The Andorian would love a good hunt.
I sent Erickson something.
I feel like a little plasma coolant to wash them out.
Well, sir, we've been looking into the failure of the anti-grav platform. It looks like there was an overload on the power system on one of the anti-grav projectors. It was probably faulty parts from what we can see. Nothing technical. It looks like they were brought up from space Earth dock, so not one of ours, unfortunately. Well, fortunately. But it's nothing more than an accident from what it looks like.
Just at your leisure, Commander, just double check all the rest of the parts in the cargo bays, just so we can try to avoid this unfortunate incident again.
Oh, don't worry, sir. Commander Maddox had us already inspecting them overnight, so we've made sure that there's no other damage to any of the other parts that we.
Excellent. This is the worst part of a captain's job is sending a letter to letters home, informing their family of their departure. Anyway, that's not why we're here. And I'll tap on the panel in front of me and I'll pull up the planet. This is Gamma Serpentis. It is a M-class planet. A few days ago, a Vulcan called the Tonor was reported missing. It was a manned crew with 8 crew members on board. They reported having issues with their food synthesizers, and a couple days after that, they stopped reporting it at all. Admiral Archer has ordered us to go to Gamma Serpentis and attempt to find this Vulcan ship and to render aid. Oh, sorry, 8 crew, 12 archaeologists.
You said they had problems with their food synthesizer, sir? Is that meant to be linked to what's happened, or is it something?
I don't know what the connection is. That is one thing that we are going to investigate. But if they had a problem with their food synthesizers, I mean, I'm hoping they didn't starve to death.
I've met a few Vulcans, sir. They don't tend to take hunger too seriously. I don't know. They could last a long time without eating, so I doubt it's them having.
Right, that is just one of the things that was in their report
Understood, sir.
that struck us as odd.
Did the Admiral send over the technical details of what was going wrong? So
If we have that information, I will pass that to the commander.
That'd be far too easy.
I know, right?
solve it before we.
There's been no technical details about what could possibly be going wrong with the Vulcan ship. These are just the preliminary. So it sounds like they know nothing about what's going on. So I ordered the course set to Gamma Serpentis. How long until we reach that location?
27.75 days at 6.8.
Are we currently doing 5?
That was just to allow the repairs. Like probably go to the second engine.
Yeah.
Do the repairs on the first.
6.8 is your maximum safe cruising speed that you can maintain pretty much indefinitely. You can do warp 7 for about 12 hours under most circumstances, and you can get up to warp 7.2 and hold that for about 45 minutes, but then the wheels start flying off.
Yeah, I was going to say we just tried that and it was.
I don't think we can even get up to warp 7 without first having repairs done.
So,
That's
but
what
yeah,
I'm doing.
6.8 is just kind of your maximum safe speed. Your normal cruising speed is 6.5.
It's like with a car, you don't always go everywhere at maximum speed.
Right.
Right, yeah. And the moving to warp 5 was to allow the primary engine time to get repaired because we still have the warp 5 engine.
We do. We use
Right.
the backup.
Right.
So
Give that one time to rest and breathe, let the repairs happen, inspect it.
Yeah, I mean,
then,
fundamentally, the way the ship is set up, you're always using the warp 7 engine. The 5 is kept on active hot, which is what allows you to draw that extra power. So, but yeah, you can, but it will be an actual task roll to switch engines if you ever decide to do that. But decreasing the speed allowed the warp 7 engine to, everything to cool down enough to be repaired.
Yeah.
Let us take out some relays without getting burned.
Right.
So yeah, repairs are on course, and then we're doing 6.8, so 27 days literally.
We have enough stock for that. We have stock for years, right?
Yeah. I mean, eventually you will have to, you would have to, stop for food supplies, fresh food and spices, and, probably mine an asteroid here and there, just kind of like they did in Enterprise.
Right. What are your thoughts?
Who are you speaking to?
Just everybody. Thoughts.
Well, we don't have much information to go on, sir. It looks like the outpost was. I'm assuming you've told us all about the outpost and everything else about what's happened so far. Or
Yeah, the outpost, the ancient civilization that they were studying.
cool. So if we get that far, like, I don't know if there's anything I can tell you, sir. I mean, Vulcans tend to put together pretty tough ships. They've been doing it longer than us, and they've been better than us in some areas. So I don't know why they'd be having this problem. And if it was something to do with the planet, then why would the ship go out of contact? That's why I'm concerned, sir.
Yeah, hopefully when we get there, it just turns out they need help repairing their comm system.
Here's hoping, sir.
Yes, I
Anything
could
wrong
try
with the crew,
brain.
I can't tell you until we get boots on the ground or on that ship.
This will also provide us an opportunity to study this planet in greater detail. It is an M-class planet, and initial details from those runes date them to 150 to 200,000 years ago.
Pretty old?
That is pretty significant.
If we are going
Yes.
to explore the planet, I would recommend having at least one medical officer on the away team.
Agreed. We do have time to set this up, of course, if it's going to take us 27 days. But I thought I would share with you the reason why we are being sent to Gamma Serpentis in this first.
Yes, I could try brainstorming reasons for the food synthesizers to be malfunctioning, but it would be quite a considerable list.
I mean, there's 3 things wrong with our synthesizers now, and we've just left Space Dock.
Yes, hopefully it is something minor that we can assist them with and get them back on their way. But worst case scenario, this might turn into a rescue mission.
Does that mean we'll have to use the transporters, sir?
Unless it's
Yeah.
an emergency, I can't recommend doing that.
Agreed. We will know more when we get close. But in the meantime, come up with plans for every contingency you can conceive of. I want to be ready for everything when we get there.
Yes, if it's affecting communications, it would affect the transport beam. What we could do is try making something vaguely resembling space in case we do need to rescue them.
What do you mean by that, sir?
Clear out some spare rooms.
Oh, sorry, sir. I thought you were referring
In
to...
the event that their ship is completely inoperable and we cannot repair it,
Sure. I'm... Okay. I don't think Vulcans have any special requirements, so all we need to do is just put them wherever the...
they will most likely be fine wherever we put them. I don't see them putting up too much of a fuss. Vulcans are notorious for not really asking for anything, even when offered.
We will still respect any potential deceased members of the Vulcan as we would any member of our crew. We are, after all, allies.
Well, naturally, we're hardly going to leave anyone behind, are we?
I will leave any preparation of the bodies to any surviving Vulcan medical teams on the ship,
Assuming there
because
are
I am
any...
not well versed in what they would want done with the bodies.
Yes, I think we turned down a dark path rather quickly. We don't know much about the situation, but it's something that we will learn when we get.
Well, when in doubt, assume the worst, hope for the best, and you'll likely be, well,
Well,
Okay.
that's pleasant to think about.
Is there anything anybody wants to really work on or do between now and your arrival at Gamma Serpentis?
So immediately after this, probably maybe an hour after the meeting, I'm gonna go and lend a hand in engineering, since it is my fault.
Yeah, again, it's nothing I'm going to make you guys roll for.
No,
It's pretty standard.
It's a show the crew the captain will get his hands dirty.
Oh yeah, I dig it. So, but yeah, repairs are completed in fairly short order, including to the engineering console bridge. Anybody else want to do anything on the way?
I would just have a way team, my medical team prepare medical kits in case there is a need for them, and then inform Lieutenant Commander Erickson that if anybody is having issues with any lingering smoke, that they are to report to sickbay immediately.
That'll be fine. Doctor, we don't have any serious stuff, any injuries relating to that, but we'll be we will let anyone
Just on the
come
off
to you
chance
in their
that
own.
there is,
Of course.
just in the off chance that somebody starts having any adverse effects to whatever smoke might be remaining from the blown conduits.
Of course. If any of my guys start coughing up their lungs, they'll come to the doctor. I think in the meantime, I'm going to be working on sort of having a look at the reports we receive, just to see if there's anything that we will probably need in terms of rescue equipment. If there is, say, if we have to go down into anywhere, or if there's anything about the Vulcan ship that needs to be dealt with. Like I say, that's all I'm really going to be doing. I'm probably not going to be going with the team. I'll just be staying and making sure that our ship doesn't fall apart in the meantime.
Be remaining on the ship.
All right, I sent Erickson a little something there. Anybody else?
Just for the fun of it, I'd probably grab one of those spare, clear whiteboards in the science section and begin actually brainstorming the possible causes of the going wrong.
Of the what going wrong?
The food synthesizers. Just as a thought experiment, so, no, dark nebulae, black holes, quasar, quark emissions.
Yeah, the report, it was pretty much just kind of, here's our daily report, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, everything seems to be fine, except we've been having a problem with the food synthesizers. Doesn't appear to be anything major. It's really kind of an offhanded thing.
Yeah.
It's just about the only kind of unusual mention, and it seemed that, and of course, I should have imagined a Vulcan saying that, and just looking what in a human might be considered irritated because the T had been off, kind of thing. So there's really very little to go on.
Oh yeah, he's just doing it like a mental exercise.
Oh yeah, there are all sorts of things that can mess up food synthesizers. So, all right. Unless there's anything else, I'm going to go ahead and jump us to the arrival at Gamma Serpentis.
I don't have anything else.
Okay, let me write a quick note to the captain. And Captain, give me an let's call this reason command. Difficulty 2.
I'll give you a threat to turn on my board.
Right.
I don't know exactly what I'm rolling for, so I don't know if a focus would apply.
What you got?
I got team dynamics, helm ops, Starfleet protocol, diplomacy, history, hand phasers.
I'll let you use history.
Cool. I'll re-roll the 0.
So
Still
1
a 0.
momentum gained. Let me finish up this then. I'll give you the info. Okay. There's a pile of stuff for you to read.
Cool.
So, okay, we're going to do move to arrival in Gamma Serpientis. This will be a new scene, so you go down momentum. All right, you come out of warp. You're actually heading to Gamma Serpientis 4. Serpentis 4. This is a pretty much your standard system. Gamma Serpentis 4 is kind of on the outer edge of the Goldilocks zone, so pretty kind of cold and rugged. It's a G-type star, a little bit bigger than Earth's, a little bit older than Earth's. And as you come into the system, there's nothing terribly unusual as you drop out of warp.
Let's get scans up, see if we can find the Tenor.
All right, what type of are you just doing a general scan, Commander Morox, or something more focused?
Let's do general for now, and we'll pick up on it.
Okay, so to generally scan the system, give me a control science difficulty 1 assisted by the ship's sensor science.
Okay.
I can roll the ships and stuff.
Cool.
All right, 2 momentum gained. Send you a little something.
GM, how much threat did we give you thus far?
Enough. I've decided to do threat like Prax does. In other words, you're not able to see. Players are not able to see exactly how much I have.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit terrifying.
Feels very threatening.
Grown.
Yeah, I always show how much threat I have. That's why I asked.
you should have something, Morox.
Where would it be?
I'm sorry, you're direct messaging in Discord.
Nope.
Did I send that to the wrong person?
Oh, there it is. Got it.
Okay.
There we go. All right. We've got my eyes up to the glowing vision slit.
Nice.
Planets, 2 gas giants, 5 asteroids. No sign of the Tenor on there. I'll try narrowing the bandwidth. Alright, let's go for the focus scan.
Okay. Focusing in on.
I assume on the planet.
Okay. So give me a control science difficulty 2. Once again, is shifted by the ship's sensor science.
Slight delay on the button. Come on. Because I haven't seen enough of those today.
Doing well.
So you've got 2 momentum. You could squash that that complication if you wanted to, or let it stand, whichever way.
I think we try. The thing is, we really need to find the thing before we start doing
Yeah.
anything. So it's
Yeah,
all it's
we
going to do
gotta
is slow us.
Yeah, we've got to stop the complication.
Can't help them unless we can find them.
Right.
Did we succeed at the task or
No?
Where's the ship?
Ship rolled a 0, but
Ship
no
didn't help.
complication. Yeah, there's some sort of interference with the scanner. You couldn't get a clear reading, at least not from this distance.
Oh, still nothing, Captain. Need to get closer.
Are you
Con,
guys
put us in
spending
orbit.
momentum to get rid of that complication, or no?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Con, take us in closer. Put us in orbit around Serpentis 4.
Aye, sir. And in short order, you are approaching the planet in a path to take you into orbit. And Lieutenant Merrick, you're receiving a signal.
Do I know the location of the signal?
It's coming from the planet's surface.
Captain, we're receiving an incoming communication from the planet's surface.
Is it a visual message?
No, Captain, it's a repeating signal, general distress. It also repeats, do not approach. It's a general computer warning. Possible that the Vulcans left it behind to ward off any vessels.
Can you get a location of where that signal is coming from?
I will attempt to do so.
Okay, let's make that a control engineering. It's a repeating signal, so I'm just going to make that a diff 1.
Subspace communications?
Yeah, definitely. And we'll have that assisted by the ship's communications engineering.
Take 1 threat. The proc bold.
Noise.
Instead of spending the threat, what if I just helped? Wait, would that?
I'm going to re-roll one of the zeros.
Right. And so need the ship's roll. Communications engineering.
I hand it back to the XO.
No, whoever.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was only doing it whilst you were rolling primary.
Engineering.
Communications
sensors, was it?
engineering.
Communication engineering.
Yep, she's basically backtracking the system. Okay.
Oh shit.
That gets it. So yes, yeah, I'll actually type that.
It was diff 1, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was diff 1. So 1 momentum gained.
It appears that the signal's coming from the outpost where the Vulcans were focusing their research on.
Let's get full scans of that area, see if we can detect any life signs. Or maybe even locate the Vulcan team.
Control science, difficulty 2, assisted by sensor science. That's too many S's.
Sure, science into science.
We need more S's.
That gets it. Alrighty.
Alright, there it is. No signs of life. It's a power source. Let's see. Just under the mountain. No, under the outpost, sorry. No sign of the Tenor, though. Just the outpost power core.
Is the power core Vulcan?
I'll answer that. Unless you have the free question talent, I'll let you have that for a momentum. Looks like you gained. No, you didn't gain one, but for momentum, I'll give you that info.
Yeah, let's do that.
Right.
Spend momentum.
Could we not use threat instead? Because we still only have the 1 momentum.
Not for an information spend.
Okay.
What's we gone once this scene's over anyway?
Right.
True.
Better to use it than lose it.
You gotta spend momentum to make momentum.
This is all becoming about the economy.
It's always the rules of acquisition.
Turns out we were Ferengi all
Don't
along.
have Ferengi yet. Get out of here.
That's what threat is
Apparently,
for.
we haven't even Ferengi yet.
They did turn up in one episode of Enterprise.
Yes,
Yep.
but that's it.
And they were
They
mentioned
came,
in
tried to
another.
rob us, and never mentioned it again. Never really mentioned it.
Did we get the answer yet, or nay?
Not yet.
I thought I sent it.
There might be a time delay on it.
Oh, it looks
Okay.
like it wasn't sent after all. I'm getting red text. Let me try it one more time. Yeah, there. You should have it now. I don't know what's going on with the connection.
No, that's not Vulcan. Not sure what it is actually. Looks like it's on low power though.
Thoughts?
No, it's just not Vulcan. It's not sure what it is, but it's definitely running on low power.
What are your thoughts, crew?
If it's not Vulcan, then it could be somehow related to why we can't see the Tenoran. Also, it might be why someone left behind that "do not approach" signal.
The turbo lift door's open. And
Odd
the-
that there's just this power source, but no other life signs. What could have happened to them? Continue with your train of thought.
Think about 27 days.
Well, plus the 3 days that it took for them to get to us from the distress call, so it's about 30 days.
Did anybody
heard
hear
that.
that?
I heard the turbo lift doors go, but I didn't hear what happened after.
Aren't they on automatic?
if there was no one in the turbo lift, they opened and then closed.
I'm the closest to it. I'm gonna go over and check the turbo lift.
I'm going to check the system. Well, I'm not going to check the system, actually. It's just a door.
All right, you hit the button on the side. Yep, looks like a turbo lift. Seems to be functioning fine. Remember, in this era, doors don't open automatically. You have to press the little panel. But yeah, turbo lift is there. Seems to be ready.
Might be a short in the panel, Doctor. I can have a look at it later if you like.
It's odd that it opened at that moment. I think you should have a look at it now.
I look towards the captain and the XO.
I'll just nod to him.
I got my eyes buried in the scanner.
Okay, then I will go and have a look at the door panel on the lift.
Well, I think that is our first piece of the puzzles down on that planet, Commander.
So, Erickson, I think you have I know my ship or something like that.
I do.
So that would apply for this role, which is honestly just going to be control engineering difficulty 1.
I was going to say, control engineering difficult. Okay, I will Oh, complication.
So, however, you do get 2 momentum, so you can squash it if you want.
I'll use the momentum to squash it.
Okay. Yeah,
Death by table lift door.
Killed by the panel. Lightning stabs me.
You have the chief medical officer right behind you.
Safest place to be.
But if he's cut in half by the doors,
Eaten by the turbo lift.
But I can immediately say that he was cut in half by the door, Captain.
He's dead, Jim.
It's something minor. I still have a med kit on me. I never put that back. I would have kept that on me.
It's all
Understood.
fine. It's all fine here. Doesn't look like there's any problem with it. So, don't know why. Probably have to run some sort of diagnostic on the turbolifts then.
Very odd that the door would open on its own after we discovered the power source.
After what we did to the ship when we launched, half the systems are having little glitches in. I'm not surprised this happened, actually.
I'm sure we haven't found all the bugs in these systems yet. This could just be a case of.
Yeah, like I say, I
Well,
can
you'll
do
forgive me for being a bit paranoid. The war has left me with a bit of a hair trigger on that.
Commander Erickson, you could just put this on your list of things to look into. I think right now we have more pressing matters.
Yes, sir. I just walked past the doctor and clapped him on the shoulder briefly before heading back to my station.
Yes, the Vulcans were here. They would have seen that transmission and probably gone there. Maybe some evidence left behind.
Unless, of course, this transmission was sent by the Vulcan, which again raises more questions. I know, XO, I think our answers lie on that planet. What do you think?
That's why we invent a bigger periscope to look down. I think we are taking away team the shuttlecraft. Still pod.
I think that'll be the best course of action. And I think your expertise in this matter far surpasses mine.
Yes, and if this is the unknown structure, maybe Lieutenant Merrick may be needed on the ground. If there is writings from this ancient culture there.
Take who you feel is necessary in this mission, XO.
All right, who's going?
It's a big mystery, and I believe Harrison would want to figure this out.
Well, I think the doctor should go just in case there are Vulcans there that might be injured.
Towards his backstory, he does love mysteries.
Okay. So, the XO, the chief medical officer.
Is Lieutenant Merrick going? I mean, Lieutenant Merrick.
I would bring our tactical officer, but they could not make it, so probably a security as well.
Yeah, take a red shirt. You'll need it.
We'll definitely need a engineer.
Yeah, I need someone to identify what the heck this thing is.
All right. So, is Erickson going, or are you taking a support engineer?
Either or. There's nothing major system ship-wise. But I now have to look into why the doors are malfunctioning on the turbo lifts. But that's not a big thing, so I'd be free to go down.
It's up to you guys. You tell me.
I know. So I think apart from needing a security officer, I think the rest of us are all going to be primary characters, aren't we? I take the shocking silence as a yes.
So the captain going?
A definitive maybe.
The captain will probably remain on the ship because having all the command staff down there is probably not the best thing, especially by the book.
Okay.
So I'll take Gab.
Why don't you take Kirby? He's actually a fully fleshed NPC, I think. All right, we might not. Nope, never mind. I'm wrong. Yeah, so take him or whoever.
Yeah,
as
I'll
far as-
take Gad because I think she's more suited
Okay.
for ground base. Because would he be? Yeah, he has targeting
He's more
systems.
the tactical guy.
So
yeah.
yeah, she's more like the ground pounder. Like I said, I want to play the captain who lets the crew shine. So
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So I've got the executive officer, chief medical officer, comms officer, security, and the chief engineer.
If he has any objections, Harrison will be the pilot for the shuttle pod.
No objections here. Unless the XO wants to take over.
Don't think so.
Phase Pistol's 3 challenge dice, right?
Yes. No qualities.
All right, cool. Yeah, she didn't have her weapons up, so I'm adding those in.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Said Harrison was piloting.
I think something that was right.
No.
I do love these graphics, GM.
Well, I was lucky to get permission to use them.
Definitely puts mine to shame.
That's better than I can do. That's why I asked for permission to use them. Yeah, the Archer's office was my height of graphic design. So yeah, and who am I missing?
That'd
the
be
engineer.
me.
All right. So the Columbia class actually operates with a landing bay for shuttles. We're getting much closer to having the actual kind of shuttle bay from TOS. The secondary hull attachment point has eliminated 2 of the ventral launch bays that were on the original NX class. 2 of them still exist. They can be used to pull in craft, but they're also primarily now of secondary use for inspection pods and all that kind of stuff. So you guys are heading out the shuttle bay. So this is a marginal class M planet, very cold. So
I made sure we packed all the cold gear, and like everything like that because
Right.
I discovered that previously. So we've
before
got
you
all the
guys head
cold-
out, is there any other piece of equipment you might want to take? Any kind of anything extra beyond? We'll say you've got the cold weather jackets, like Archer wore on Andoria, phase pistols, scanners, communicators, all the normal stuff. Anything else?
I think
Would have
just
made sure
basic
that my medkit
equipment
is
should be
packed with everything that I would need for it.
So what was that? Sorry.
good. I think just the basic equipment should be good.
Okay.
I mean, everyone has their kits, so
All right.
Yeah, I have an engineering kit. Yeah, I think we all have our own separate stuff.
Okay. So, Doctor, as the pilot, give me as you approach the planet. There's definitely some weather going on, so give me a daring con difficulty 2 to get everybody down safely. Oh, assisted by the shuttle pods.
Focus was still on. Does that matter? Or I don't have a focus for that other thing that I could think of for that.
Not with that roll. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Assisted by the shuttle pods engines con. For what that is worth.
yeah, a 6. Almost
Alrighty.
got it though. Rolled an 8.
Mhm.
Okay, so as you go down, you're caught in a sudden updraft, which spins you out of control, only to be hit with a downdraft, and you're going in at a steep angle of descent, and one of your thrusters cuts out. To avoid, give me a control daring, daring con rather. Daring con difficulty 3 as shifted by the shuttle pod's engines con to make an emergency landing.
Focus composure.
Sure.
I think to save all of our lives, I think I might also assist with this.
Nicely done, pulling it out in a pinch. So yes, you actually gain a momentum. So you land the damaged shuttlecraft, you skid a little bit, but you've actually hit your target coordinates, so you're outside the alien outpost on some sort of ancient landing site. The shuttle is damaged and will require some repairs before you really want to lift off on it again, but you managed not to damage it any further with the landing, and you're
Nice
all going to
land.
be able to walk away. Yeah.
That's the first question. Is any injuries?
No, everyone is fine,
Okay.
thanks to the daring piloting of the doctor.
Bit of a rattle, but otherwise.
Pinnacle of composure in a very bad situation.
Right. Well done.
You did that on purpose.
Well, next time on Earth, definitely do the roller coasters.
After this, roller coasters are nothing.
So I'm definitely going to be buffing some scrapes out of the panels, but otherwise I think we've all survived. Now let's find out if we're going to be eaten by terrible alien monsters.
Wants to be first
that-
out the door.
Yes, and find out if we could actually take off again.
Should
All
I
right,
do
so
it?
what's everybody doing?
I can do an engineering check just to see what the damage is of the shuttle.
Sure. Just give me a quick insight engineering, difficulty 1. So 2 momentum gained. Yes, you will need to repair the port and the port thrusters, port thruster assembly rather, but it's nothing terribly major. You should be able to do it in 20 minutes to a half hour.
Do I need to do it before we can leave again?
I mean, you could take off without the port thruster assembly, but
Not recommended.
right, yeah.
Probably shouldn't, since we just landed hard.
Because you've got to go back through that weather, potentially.
Yeah.
I'll get to repairing this if everyone wants to go and start having a look around.
I'll use tricorder, see how far we are from the energy source.
Okay, give me a control science difficulty 2.
Could you not use the shuttle sensors? Then the
We
shuttle
could,
be
but I'm
right.
sitting in front of them.
If you want to, you're welcome to have the shuttle assist you.
I think we're going to need that. So, yeah, someone rolls shuttle.
I got the shuttle.
Okay.
Sensor science, I assume.
Yes.
Well, it's the same result anyway.
All of 4 points.
Shuttles are not equipped for science missions.
Quite clearly.
They're just transport vessels.
So, you can't really get a clear reading here. You don't know if maybe the shuttle sensors were damaged, but you do remember from what you scanned on the ship that the power source was buried well below the outpost itself, deep within the mountain that it kind of sits on. And as for the outpost itself, you're maybe 50 yards or meters, whichever you prefer, from it.
How long will it take to repair the shuttle?
About 20 minutes, half an hour, if I get started now.
All right, see to it. We'll get ahead. Off investigate the signal. Morks to Aurora.
Go ahead.
Had a bit of a rough landing. No one's hurt, but
And the communications shut down.
Aurora.
Well, that's ominous.
So we.
Aurora.
There's no
Commander,
answer.
Oh, Commander, is there something wrong with the communications?
Try the shuttle relay. Communicator can't reach the ship.
Yeah, you can't seem to contact the ship. Back on the ship.
There's a lot of people who aren't actually here.
Yep.
We're there in spirit.
Put you guys in the hallway.
We're in timeout.
That's exactly right.
The timeout out of ship hull.
What happened with the communication?
Ensign Kanan is frantically tapping on her keyboard. Unknown, sir. There's some sort of glitch in my system.
Are you still detecting the away team on the planet?
Somebody want to take Richardson, which is the science guy, and do a sensors control science assisted by the ship's sensor science.
I'll do Richardson. I need the practice. You said it was control science?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just checking to see if he has anything that is useful here. No.
Was that the sensor science role for the?
No, I didn't.
If it's
really.
sensors, it would. You have
Okay.
I did
sensor
not.
operations.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Ship sensor science role will be at. Okay, never mind. So, yes, you are detecting the away team. They still appear to be in the shuttle.
Let's monitor the storm over them and get another shuttle pod on standby just in case. I want you to keep sensor lock on the away team. If anything happens, I want that other pod launched.
Who's got Richardson?
That's me. There's no storm over the away team currently, sir. Looks like it's clear down there.
Okay, keep trying to raise communications with them, and I still want that pod on standby. In the meantime, just keep an eye on them.
Aye, sir.
From this point forward, all ships assist roles will be at complication range 2.
Cool.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to be assigning you guys. Doctor, I sent you a message for your character up here.
Captain, phasers are arming and hull plating is polarizing. I haven't done that. They seem to have done it by themselves. And now they're powering down.
The captain is BRB.
Ah,
Say, okay, yeah. Wasn't paying attention. All over again.
we'll go ahead and shift back down to the planet's surface. I'm just going to throw us into Theater of the Mind for actually have a map for outside the outpost. So okay, you guys have lost communication with the ship.
That's ominous. You know what? I'm going to get to repairing those engines now, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yes, you repair the engines. We'll head out to the signal. It may be more powerful enough to break through.
You have an engineering kit with you, so just control engineering difficulty 2.
Two momentum generated.
Nice. Roll me fitness security difficulty 1.
I'm not very good at this. As was shown.
So it's really cold out here, like easily 20 below or more. So you're getting a little fumble fingered. Unless you can warm up, you're going to your complication range is going to wind up going up.
Why did we come to a planet that wasn't tropical? So what, do I need to do anything now, or is this going to be a problem?
No, you completed the repairs and gained the momentum, but you were outside doing that for 20, 30 minutes, and you got a little bit affected by the cold.
I may head back. Yeah, I may head back inside and try and warm up inside the shuttle rather than going to find everybody first. But that's
not a problem.
That's what I'm doing in the meantime, whilst everybody's doing everything else.
All right. Real quick, since the captain is now back, do the appropriate people want to report what happened?
I think he heard my stuff.
I think he was away for the security report.
Yeah.
I believe so. Captain, my station is saying that phasers are arming and hull plating is polarizing.
What?
And now they're powering down. Sir, the systems seem to have more problems than we originally thought if this is happening.
Engineering, what's going on down there?
Somebody wants to grab one of the engineering NPCs.
I'm playing Richardson in this scene, so someone else can grab.
Well, for this, I'll just answer for it, so you're not going to have to make any rolls. Sir, everything's nominal. This is Ensign Morrow's.
We just had our tactical station say that the weapons and the hull plating polarized. Find out what's going on.
Aye, sir. Okay. Let's see. Erickson, do you have Richardson? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I have Richardson.
Okay.
Sir, sensors are showing that a Romulan bird of prey is decloaking 100 kilometers in front of the ship.
Tactical alert. Raise the shields. Hail them.
Sir. Their weapons are charging. They're firing.
Brace for impact.
And seconds pass, and nothing happens. And the Romulan vessel suddenly disappears off both of the science and tactical stations readouts. And
It's disappeared, sir.
What the hell is going on?
meanwhile,
Not reading it either, sir.
It's okay. While Erickson's working on the shuttle, what's everybody else doing?
People were going off to check the
Moving towards the station. Or outpost,
Yeah.
rather.
social signal. Yeah.
So you kind of huddled against the cold. You're moving in. You see an entrance that had been carefully forced by the Vulcans. It looks like they removed a panel and probably supplied an external power source to open the exterior door. No luck, Merrick. So you can see the entrance. Parts of the station up here are heavily damaged by weather and also seismic activity in this planet. There are work lights. Merrick, very similar to the lights you're used to working on in various archaeological digs. They're completely, battery powered, just kind of dumb machines that will, last for forever. So there is light going on. They've been set up inside like very carefully as with a dig around the various panels and stenciled on the wall, but starting to fade. And these outer portions are more of that language that you saw a fragment of. So are you guys heading in, or?
Harrison is first through the door.
All right, let's see if this works. Right now, you should be seeing nothing. Is that happening?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect.
Black screen.
Excellent. Do this. Who was first through?
It was.
Harrison?
It's Harrison.
Doctor, I would not rush through this.
There's a mystery afoot.
Doctor, I assure you, do not rush forward. We could be damaging or triggering things we should not be. So careless.
Yes. It's a mystery, and it's not going anywhere.
Very well. I will defer to your expertise as a security officer.
Are you guys seeing that section of the map now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So very much as you see, this section still very cold. There's no heat, and there's a set of stairs leading down towards the door.
While we're down here, I'm going to try scanning for life signs again.
All right, give me a control science difficulty 2.
Ah!
Beyond yourselves and some small life forms here and there, outside of the structure. You detect no large life signs. You do detect Erickson back at the shuttle and the 4 of you.
Well, there's certainly
How-
no one here now.
Do we know how many Vulcans were supposed to be at this outpost?
You know that the ship had a crew of 8 and a complement of 12 Vulcan archaeologists and xenopologists, rather.
At any given time, there was about 12, maybe 15 of them on the planet. Assuming that at least some of them would stay on the ship in orbit.
Are you asking me, or are you asking your fellow folks?
I'm gonna go with talking to the commander.
Also, what were you saying there?
Assuming that there would be 15 of them, if there were 12 archaeologists as well as a crew complement of 8 on the planet, assuming that they would want to keep people in orbit on their ship. That there are no life signs from any of them.
Yes, no life signs and no ship in orbit.
Is this just a straight hallway, or are these rooms next to us?
I think it's a downward staircase.
Yes, it is a downward staircase.
Okay, so moving forward to the door then.
Yeah,
Be
again,
careful, notice to stay behind the security officer.
Yeah, this is only again by the dig lights, for lack of a better word. Nomi, there is more writing on the door. It's kind of large and yellow. Again, you see an open panel, although this door is currently shut.
What sort of writing is on the panel?
It looks, it's that same language that you saw the fragment from. It is 2 short words in like bright magenta, almost a day glow. So, which, you know, could just be informational, could be a warning. You don't know.
Is there any other writing in the room?
There is on the door you came through on this side. Above it is a small, looks like it would be, if the power was on, it would have been illuminated, and it appears to be a kind of thing where it opaques part of the light source behind it, and then it's like almost like a stencil where the light would come through the cut lettering that is a very short word. Give me a daring science difficulty 1.
Xenolinguistics or archaeology?
Yeah.
Spend a momentum. It's in the black void.
Okay. 1 momentum back. And that's just kind of your logical conclusion based on general principles of bipedal humanoid species and how they do things broadly.
Assuming like reading both signs, does it look like there is like a common word between them, or like these common characteristics in the lettering between the two? Essentially, I'm looking for like potentially maybe like a base word that I can start, deciphering the language.
Yeah, sorry, Cat was on the keyboard. There are definitely some common symbols, like the word that on the door to the outside, the fourth letter also appears like 3 times in the 2 words on the door leading further into the base, which would make it more of a, one of the more commonly occurring letters or symbols.
And there's like on the one that's going in is like there's a sort of like a panel.
Yeah, it looks like a panel has been opened exposing the circuitry for the door controls. Again, based upon your readings and your experience, probably this is where the Vulcans applied some sort of external power source to open this door. But normal procedure would be to leave it open and braced, but they did not, or something. About this time, you're warmed up, Erickson, if you want to rejoin the group. Romulans.
Well, Commander, it would seem we're potentially could be in some sort of airlock.
So has the power supply they would have used to open it been removed?
Yes. Sorry, go ahead, Naomi.
I didn't know if that was in character or not.
Erickson, you heading back or?
Sorry, I've been having some trouble with my microphone. Yes, I'll be heading. Well, like I say, I'm warming up in the shuttle briefly, then I'm heading back to them.
Right. Okay. I'll drop you in, and you've got your engineering kit, I would assume.
Oh yeah.
Could we take the power source on the front door and use it on this one?
It would. Could.
Now the front door was open, but there was no power source there.
Oh, okay. Erickson, is there anything we could use on the shuttle to power this door up?
Well, I don't know how compatible it all is. Do I need to do any sort of engineering check to see if I would know any way of opening this door?
I mean, you have like basic portable power.
Portable power unit, something like that.
Right, a portable power unit. Similar to how you can recharge batteries and stuff. So yeah, with a control engineering difficulty 1, you think you could probably hook it up and provide enough juice to open the door.
I guess I'll give it a go. We'll see if we can get this thing open. So I go back to the shuttle, get the thing, come back, and then I'll try that check. So you said control engineering, yeah?
Yep, difficulty 1.
Difficulty 1. go. Hold on. That's fine. Here we go. There we are.
All right, gain 2 momentum. So the door retracts upward, a little bit creakily, but not too bad for something that's been shut for a long while.
Does the light change colors?
Well, the only illumination is by the lights that the team have strung. What I meant by the sign that you were reading on the exterior door had a light panel behind it. It wasn't functioning, but so opens up into a pretty standard corridor. The door door in front of you, and then you've got one in front and one to either side.
I'm always terrible at mazes.
Open sesame. So are the other doors the same deal with needing a power source to go through?
Looks like let me set something here. Looks like this one has had a panel accessed, and this one has had a panel accessed, but this one there doesn't seem to be any evidence of panel being accessed. And are you singing my pings?
We are seeing
Yeah.
your pings.
Okay, just making sure I was
Also-
on the right layer.
Also, I can't control my token.
Is that the doctor?
Both
Mine
of
is
us
the
again.
mine is the engineer.
Oh, sorry.
Delete us and we'll make our own tokens.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. I'm going to delete you if you'll drag your own. Well, theoretically, I'm going to delete you. There you go. Doctor, are you having trouble as well? Doc? I didn't hear you.
Sorry,
Can you move your token?
I cannot move my token.
Okay, I'm going to delete you and just drag yourself over. I don't know what's doing that. There you go.
The curse
Right.
of immobility.
Now, you notice that even after when you withdrew the power source, the door stays open.
I was going to ask if I take the
Right.
power source with me, does it close? But if it's not,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I mean, basically it would take, it would power to open it up and power to lower it.
Okay, I'm going to try scanning for the station's power source.
Okay.
So we get main power.
Control, science, difficulty 1.
Bam. Is it going to work? Yay.
The power source is well below you, by a kilometer easily.
That's a long way down.
You are detecting a slight power current, I guess would be the best way to describe it, coming from the room to this one, coming from through the other side of this door.
Alright, the main reactor could be deep in the mountain. But we need some electrical emissions this way. Let's try getting this door open.
Case
It's,
to move forward.
get some power on, we can open all these doors.
Okay. As long as someone's covering me with a gun at this point, because this is a scary ruin, and I'm not interested in being mummified or exploded or whatever might happen.
So I'm not going to make your roll for this one. Yeah, it's pretty much the same kind
Sure.
of deal. So the
And-
door
Gatto
moves
move up to the door.
into the ceiling. Yep, she's covering you with a phaser rifle. And as the door opens up, you see some sort of control room.
Oh.
The panels aren't as live as you see it, but there is a triangular panel that is lit on this console.
Well, that looks promising.
Let's take a peek.
Gad'll move in first and just, make sure the room's clear.
Yeah, I stay by the door until at least 2 other people have got in, then I follow.
I would have
Yeah.
looked at this console.
Does not seem to be. There's no one here. But this does definitely seem to be some sort of control room, although unpowered at the moment. There are more of those work lights strung here.
Does it look like the Vulcans were in here?
There are several open panels, but it doesn't look like the things beyond the panels have been messed with. Just like they've been examined.
May I, in all my engineering wisdom, examine them as well to see what they are?
You may give me a insight engineering difficulty 3.
Can I use my diagnostics focus on this, or would that be more ship specific?
Not in this case. This is not any kind of system.
Right, okay. So, okay, then I will give it a go. Let's see what I...
All right.
3.
Nicely done.
So, yeah. I go poke around inside the open systems to see what I can...
There you go. Nomi, there is, of course, all sorts of writing covering these panels and screens with your between the Vulcan lights and the flashlights that you got carrying, because of course the panels aren't illuminated except for the one. You've got a lot of different symbols and sets of symbols to work from.
Going to jot down the symbols and see if I can't, continue to try to find a sort of key.
Okay.
Common. Essentially, I'm trying to create almost maybe like a Rosetta Stone in a way, trying to figure out what's.
Right. Okay. So give me an insight science difficulty 4.
I'll definitely help.
Determination time.
I will allow an assist using insight engineering, because the symbols are obviously tied to certain functions.
Okay. Will I be able to do this, or is this something the commander will need?
I don't know that you have the best engineering score, but you'd want someone with a high engineering.
I know. I was going to say I'm in the middle of doing this, checking the other ports and relays here.
So
So. I'm happy to do it mechanically. I
Okay.
just wanted to make sure that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Language is the key to understanding for a focus or determination
Yep.
spend.
Okay.
Xenolinguistics.
It was in
Yep.
Inside Engineering, was that for the assist?
Yes.
Spending 2 momentum for a third dice.
Okay.
Sorry. Just the one success, that's all right.
Yeah, I'll take the one.
It's total of 5.
Yep. So well, that's total of 5 for you plus 1 for this, a total of 6. So 2 momentum gained.
So I'm supposed to roll 1 dice. So I don't know how you're gonna.
Yeah, I just took the 1 for him.
Yeah, that was my mistake. I apologize.
So, okay, now you haven't broken the language, but with Erickson's help, you've kind of managed to sort out some basic control symbology, and you think you might be able to turn on the power. Although, again, it's not a sure thing necessarily. Because again, you've got a very rudimentary sense of, this is probably power, which means that this is probably, on and this is probably off. Or, this is, you've been able to look at some of the different displays and screens and you think you've sussed out, okay, this is, turn this display on, turn this display off, which seems to be the same symbology that's on this display over here. Kind of thing. You've also, kind of determined some potentially emergency symbols that are in that same kind of almost fluorescent magenta kind of thing. So you think you can attempt to turn the power on. It will be a Daring Science difficulty 4, complication range 3. But I will allow an assist.
Well, Commander, I think I got enough here. Maybe we can turn these consoles on if you would like. Though, and again, I could be wrong. It's
We'll try it. See what happens.
All right, whoever's leading and whoever's assisting, be sure to set your complication range to 3. Daring Science.
What's the
Diff
difficulty?
4.
So who has focuses for this?
I do not.
Because if no one does, I could use my talent walking encyclopedia,
Not the only one.
spend 2, and gain a focus for this.
That's true.
I could do the same
Right.
too. So,
Right, yeah,
Snap.
right now Nomi has probably the most applicable focuses because with her linguistic skills.
What's your daring science then?
total is 13.
Yeah, mine's 14.
So either one could lead and the other could assist.
So you probably lead our assist.
Okay. I'll spend 3 momentum to roll 4.
Okay. And there's 3. Oh.
Hold on. Actually, I can't reroll any of that. Yeah, it's just gonna have to stand as is.
Okay. So you press a couple of what you think is the right combination, but everything stays dead.
Actually, would testing the theory kind of imply here?
Read that to me quick, or
When you
refresh
attempt a
me on it.
task using engineering or science, you may roll 1 additional d20 so long as you succeeded in a previous task covering the same scientific or technological field earlier in the same
Yeah,
adventure.
I'll allow it because you've been working on this language.
Okay. I'll have to spend the other 2 momentum to get technically that die. Because it would cost 5. I'm rolling the bonus one. And right into a complication.
Okay, this is where all the bad rolls were hiding.
All right. So, yeah, you press a couple things and it looks like nothing's happening, but then all of a sudden, the built-in room lights go on. Most of them, amazingly, are still working. The screens flicker to life. All the control panels and everything light up. The 2 doors that you opened slide shut. But it's not like they're slamming down or anything. It's just like they're completing their cycle, kind of sliding shut. However, there are what appear to be several of those fluorescent magenta warning lights on different consoles in the room are flashing angrily. And there's a slight vibration as power returns to the entire complex, and you feel first a gust of cold air, which quickly starts to be warm air coming through the ventilation system.
That's better. Sorry for interrupting. Carry on.
All right, we're going to cut back very quickly to the ship.
Everything's on fire.
Everything's on fire.
Of course.
So the Romulans just appeared and disappeared.
So at the end of that, I said, "What the hell is going on?" And I'm looking for the bridge crew to give me answers.
Hmm.
And I'll walk over to tactical and double look at the sensor.
They're currently clear.
Can't explain it, Captain.
Bridge to engineering. Have you had any luck tracing down these glitches?
Engineering here, Captain. I don't know what's going on, but we've got faults all over the place. I've got all of the engineering teams running from place to place, and when we get there, nothing seems to be wrong. Suddenly, the lights dim to black. The emergency lights are still on, and then power back on. Captain, main power is fluctuating. Let me get back to you, Captain. The communication is cut.
There's nothing on our sensors.
I'm not sure I trust our sensors right now, sir, but I can do another scan.
Do it. See if this is maybe coming from an external source.
Okay. What do I need to do?
Everybody give me fitness security difficulty 1 as the gravity failed.
Here we go. Oh dear, that's a complication from your science officer.
Rolling fitness security.
Yep, difficulty 1.
Difficulty 1.
I'll give you a threat to try to generate some momentum.
Okay.
Or just able to pass it, apparently.
Whichever.
Captain is not rolling good today.
All right, so okay. Who failed? The science officer?
Yep. Looks like Richardson might be bouncing around a bit.
Okie dokie.
He's a scientist.
The gravity fails and then suddenly comes back on at about 2 Gs. Okay, Richardson didn't manage to stabilize himself when the gravity failed, and when it comes back on, he comes down hard, taking 7 stress.
Ouch.
Jesus.
And then
That's an injury.
the gravity stabilizes at the normal 1 G.
Bridge to sickbay. Medical emergency on the.
Ensign Daly says, Captain, impulse engines are coming online.
Do what you can to keep us here.
Everyone is kind of torqued back into or almost out of their seats as the internal dampeners flicker for a moment. Daly looks around, her eyes are wide. Captain, I don't have helm control. Wait, the engines, they're going off. But sir, we're out of orbit. We're in a decaying orbit. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we will leave it, since it is just about 5 o'clock.
Oh, the cliffhanger.
Ship is brand new.
It is fresh. Well, you did
And it's
thrash it